One more time from Southern California. How nice is that? Little time in the Pacific Ocean during the day. Come on over to Vince Scully Avenue at night as the Milwaukee Brewers and the Los Angeles Dodgers get set to wrap up this four-game series, and thus for the Brewers, concluding what has been so far a very good road trip out west. Just one game separating the Brewers from the NL Central leading Chicago Cubs. Cubs playing the Padres at this hour. We've had a lot of good pitching in this series, and we may very well have saved the best for last. Yolis Chassin on the mound for the Brew Crew, and Clayton Kershaw hits the ball once again for Dave Roberts and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Good evening from Dodger Stadium. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Matt LePay. We'll check in with Sophia Minert in just a moment or so. A lot of good pitching, a lot of really good defense, and a lot of Lorenzo Cain, who's been doing a little bit of everything in this series.
Yeah, one of the big reasons the Brewers are off to a very good start on this road trip, 5-2. It would be nice to come up with a victory here today, but all of a sudden you figure Lorenzo Cain, he keeps this up, he's going to be in the conversation for an MVP award. He's doing everything right, swinging the bat extremely well, running the bases, saved the game with a big catch in center field. And the one thing you like about Lorenzo, he just hustles and hustles and hustles, and that's a good example for these guys. They've been playing pretty hard on this road trip, and Lorenzo Cain, one of the big reasons that they have been so successful, doing everything right now is Lorenzo Cain.
Yeah, that robbery of Cody Bellinger helping preserve a 1-0 Brewers win on Tuesday night. We mentioned again we have the makings of a not good but great pitching matchup tonight. And for more on the Chassin Kershaw confrontation, let's set it down as we hear from Sophia Minert.
Thanks, guys, and you're absolutely right. From one big offseason acquisition and all-star outfielder Lorenzo Cain to Yolis Chassin, one of the more important free agent signings of the offseason for the Brewers, and he has been tremendous. He has taken the ball every fifth day for the Brewers, the only starter to make every start this season. The team has gone 16-7 in his starts, and he'll be facing Clayton Kershaw here tonight as we wrap up this four-game series. So a look back at the last time the Brewers faced Kershaw on the last homestand. Christian Yelich got things going with the home run, and the Brewers would score 4 runs off of him, the most runs allowed by Kershaw against the Crew since 2013. So the Brewers offense looking to continue swinging hot bats against Clayton Kershaw, and Yolis Chassin trying to follow up what he did in a tremendous outing in his last start in San Francisco at AT Park. He turned in 7 innings of 1-run ball, just 3 hits allowed, with 6 strikeouts on 107 pitches. One of his best starts of the season. Here's what pitching coach Derek Johnson had to say how valuable Chassin has been to the Crew.
What a veteran presence. You know, the guy's been around for a while, and he's made every start, and he's answered the bell, and has been really consistent and really good. And, you know, I just really happy for him, really proud of what he's done, and has another quality start, and, you know, throws 104 pitches, and all of them were pretty much kind of what he wanted to do. So, yeah, we'll keep that one going.
The Brewers have already secured a winning road trip and looking to win the series here tonight against the Dodgers. We've got first pitch and lineups, a great pitching matchup. It'll be Kershaw and Chassin coming up next.
brought to you by QP and Abraham. Voted best, rated best. QP and Abraham. Tell them you mean business. By Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
And a swing and a miss. He struck him out. And he swings and misses. And Chassin picks up another strikeout. Kershaw on the attack. He has Hall of Fame credentials already. He didn't throw another pitch in the major leagues. PR is out. Slams his helmet. Kershaw strikes out the side.
Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles, California, as the Brewers wrap up the series and this 8-game road trip. Dan Keener, our producer. Renardo Lowe is our director on another nice warm night for baseball here in Southern California. Craig Counsell's team right now a game behind the Cubs, 63-48. They have had a couple of games with a postseason type of feel. A 1-0 win on Tuesday night. They battled back, forced extras last night before Yasmani Grandal ended it with the 2-run walk-off. But two wildly entertaining games here so far in this series. Here's the Brewers batting order presented by Potawatomi Hotel and Casino. Lorenzo Cain again at the top of the order, followed by Christian Yelich and Jesus Aguilar. Game number 2 is a Brewer for Jonathan Schoop. He is cleaning up. Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw, Eric Kratz, Orlando Arcia, and Yolis Chassin rounding out the Brew Crew batting order against the left-hander, the great Clayton Kershaw.
Yeah, one of the best in the business, if not the best. He's battled injuries this year, biceps and a back injury. He's been on the disabled list a couple of times. The Brewers beat him, back at Miller Park. He's won 3 out of 4. You see his numbers, only 15 starts so far this year and a .252 earned run average.
And we are ready to go here at Dodger Stadium. First pitch to Lorenzo Cain misses low, and we are underway. What a series Lorenzo Cain is having. That 5 for 13 just scratches the surface on the impact that Cain has had, and helping the Brewers take 2 of the first 3. And there's a ground ball to Justin Turner just off the disabled list, and that's the first out of the night.
Now let's check out the Dodgers defense. You got Peterson, Bellinger, and Puig in the outfield. So you got some pretty athletic guys in that outfield. Justin Turner just back from the disabled list. Machado, Dozier up the middle. Dozier with a big night at the plate last night. Muncy at first, and Yasmani Grandal, last night's hitting star for the Dodgers.
There's Turner. You remember the final game of the series against the Brewers at Miller Park. He had to exit early in the game as Christian Yelich settles in. Turner was on the DL with the groin injury. He is obviously back into the mix now, and Chase Utley has been put on the 10-day disabled list with left wrist inflammation. Yelich looking to start a new hitting streak. Had a terrific 15-game run that was snapped last night. One of the top hitting streaks in baseball, or certainly in the National League this year. Starling Marte had a 17-game run in July. Freddie Freeman had a 16-game hitting streak. Yelich has stopped at 15.
Yeah, basically fastball, slider, cutter, if you want to call it that. Curveball for Kershaw. Brewers have done pretty well against Clayton Kershaw here at Dodger Stadium.
They've done pretty well, period, against him. They have won 3 of the last 4 games in which Kershaw has started. It goes back to Craig Counsell's first game as Brewers manager 3 years ago. A come-from-behind win. Kershaw had a no decision on that night. His team spotted the lefty an early 3-0 lead. Brewers battled back. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Christian Yelich, and buzzes him inside. But to Rock's point, especially here in this ballpark, Kershaw 1-4 against the Brewers with a 5.03 ERA.
Yeah,
Go figure.
Yeah, no kidding. I don't know how many teams that can say that against Clayton Kershaw. Good numbers for the Brewers here.
And Yelich with a base hit to left field, and this scoots toward the gap. Big turn for Yelich on his way to second, and he is in with a double. He continues to have success against left-handed pitching.
Yeah, just a very good approach by Christian Yelich going to the opposite field. I mean, that outfield grass, very short, very hard out there, and And we've seen balls that have been grounded into the infield, through the infield, go nearly to the wall in this series. Yelich gives that one a pretty good swing, and with his speed, good base running, able to get into scoring position for Aguilar.
Yelich third in the National League in batting average. He's right up there in a number of categories, and he gets a double in his first at bat tonight. Here is Aguilar.
That's it.
Jesus last night a double and a couple of walks. Rock, you suggested last night that's a real good sign, as he's not chasing right now. At least he didn't last night.
A little jumpy at the plate. I mean, getting that bat out a little bit too quickly and being vulnerable to outside, but he was showing signs last night that he was waiting back much better.
25 homers. He has driven in 74. That curveball from Kershaw. A ball, a strike to Aguilar.
Brewers saw a pretty good curveball on Rich Hill last night, left-hander for the Dodgers. So back-to-back nights, back-to-back games, you're going to see a couple of pretty good curveballs.
Two balls, one strike to Aguilar. Jesus third in the National League with the 25 homers, and fourth with the 74 RBIs. Rich Hill, who started last night's game, good pitching matchup last night. Chase Anderson and Rich Hill both going 6 innings, both giving up a couple of runs for Hill, one of those unearned.
Just a good baseball game last night, played by both teams. Some really good defense, good pitching. A lot of timely hitting, and unfortunately the Brewers not able to win that game, but you're not going to win them all. But a well-played game. Craig Counsell very pleased with his team's effort on this road trip, and particularly last night.
A 5-2 road trip so far for the Brewers. 3 out of 4 in San Francisco, 2 of the first 3 here in Los Angeles. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Aguilar. Curveball that Jesus gets a piece. A struggle without question for Aguilar coming out of the All-Star break. Big night tonight against someone the likes of Clayton Kershaw, can turn things around for him in a big hurry. He has worked the count full as Kershaw just does miss.
And not missing by much. Asking home plate umpire Brian Knight, where was that? A lot of times a guy like Kershaw is going to get that call, not that time.
30-year-old from Dallas, Texas. Full counts to Jesus Aguilar. With Yelich the runner at second. Jesus hanging tough.
Only 30 years old. His first year was 2008. Been around forever. Still has a long way to go. No telling how many wins this guy is going to be able to rack up.
148 on his resume. 7th overall pick 12 years ago. Runner up with a Cy Young last year to Max Scherzer, but there are 3 Cy Youngs on the resume of Clayton Kershaw. 18-game winner a year ago. There's a couple of 21 win years on his resume in 2011, and then again 3 years later. ERA is always low, and that includes this year. 2.52. Just 4 wins to show for it in 9 decisions.
18-4 last year for Kershaw. 231 earned run average.
And it was someone who for several years you could count on him to give you 32, 33 starts. The back has been an issue, as Rock mentioned. The bicep tendonitis earlier in the year, but the back issue cropped up at the beginning of June. Came back about 3 weeks later. Curveball bounces up there. It gets away from Grandal. As drawing the walk is Aguilar, and a big turn there from Yelich as Grandal again was struggling to come up with it. Brewers have runners at the corners with 1 out.
Yeah, a couple of times in this series that Grandal has tried to block one and not been able to find out where the baseball is. Lorenzo Cain able to score from second base on one of those last night. Not exactly the way you want to go after it, backhanding it. Did not get it in front of it. Finally able to find it. The base on balls for Aguilar. Having his troubles back there is Grandal.
Yeah, he really is. Not having much trouble at the plate. Big night for him last night. Big month of July that he has carried over at least into the first day of August. Here's Jonathan Schoop, game number 2 for him in a Brewers uniform. Looking for his first hit. Grounded out a couple of times to his good friend and former Orioles teammate Manny Machado. Machado making a good play on him in the first inning last night. Well, a chance to do a little damage here against Kershaw in the first inning. Schoop behind, 2 strikes and nothing.
Among many of the other things that Kershaw does very well, locates extremely well. First one on the outside corner, that one on the inside corner.
The 0-2 pitch, and that bounces up there. That gets away from Grandal, and Yelich will score for the first run of the game.
Yeah, just not going after that baseball the way you should. You call those off-speed pitches, you're catching, you automatically figure they're going to be in the dirt. That is just not the way you want to go after. You got to block that pitch. You backhand, a lot of times that's what's going to happen, and the Brewers on the board. They gift. A couple of wild pitches already in the game.
So the Brewers get on the board first. A ball, 2 strikes to Jonathan Schoop with Aguilar now at second. And a swing and a miss for out number 2.
Well, let's check out our Pizza Ranch for the win. How about one for the road? How about a 6-2 road trip? That sounds good.
Sounds good.
Yeah, early morning arrival for the Brewers. Rocky's already in town in Milwaukee. Chacin's been on a roll. He's won 4 straight. And the Brewers have beaten the best in Clayton Kershaw. 5-5 career against Kershaw. And as we talked about, the Brewers 4-1 against Clayton Kershaw here at Dodger Stadium.
And a run here in the first inning, and a runner in scoring position. Here's Ryan Braun. He's actually had some success against Kershaw in Ryan's career. 11 for 35 is Braun against Kershaw. That includes a home run. Braun last night a hit and a walk. Curve is swung on and missed.
Yeah, big break, 72 miles an hour, down out of the strike zone. It's a good pitch. Kershaw not throwing as hard these days as he used to, but again, he locates well. Mixes in that off-speed stuff, keeps you honest.
Ahead 2 strikes and nothing to Ryan Braun. A walk, a couple of wild pitches in the first inning. Gave up a double to Christian Yelich. Came around and scored after those wild pitches. A long look in from Kershaw. Braun looks at a fastball for strike 3. Back-to-back strikeouts for Kershaw, ending the first inning, but a good start for the Brewers. They pick up a run as we move to the bottom of inning number 1. pitches from Clayton Kershaw, giving Milwaukee the early lead. First up now for the Dodgers in the bottom of the first. Here is the LA batting order presented by Potawatomi. Jock Peterson at the top, followed by Manny Machado. Justin Turner back into the fold, hits third. Yasmani Grandal, the cleanup man. Cody Bellinger, Brian Dozier, Max Muncy, Yasiel Puig, and Clayton Kershaw rounding out the Dodgers lineup against Yolis Chassin.
Yeah, Chassin making start number 25 against the Dodgers. He's 11-8, earned run average just a tick over 4. He's won 4 straight, and perhaps his best start came his last time out against the Giants.
Yeah, he was terrific as he starts Peterson with a strike, hitting the edges, which is what Chassin was doing with great regularity in that last start against the Giants, breaking balls, hitting the edges throughout the course of that game.
And went through hitless baseball through 5 innings, did Chassin in San Francisco. Last 3 starts, pretty much all you need to know. I mean, he's been terrific. 1 walk, 17 strikeouts. And look at the earned run average.
Peterson, Machado, and Turner in the first, and Peterson launches one, and this will tie the game in the first. No team in the National League hits more. Dodgers put it on display last night. And Peterson goes deep to begin the home half of the first.
Yeah, the Dodgers hit 3 last night. Grandal had 2 of them, and here's a curveball. Stayed right down the middle of the plate. Actually, no, split change that stayed down the middle of the plate. 85 miles an hour, and that didn't take long. All tied.
It's the 148th home run this season hit by the Dodgers. The most in the National League. Here's Manny Machado. He looks at a strike.
Yeah, so Chassin has been working in that split change pretty well. I mean, he hasn't really gotten hurt by it until that last pitch. Well, the fastball, the curveball, slider combination, and the split change. Did not make too many mistakes his last time out.
It's the 11th home run allowed by Yolis. As he continues to make every turn, take every turn, I should say, for this Brewers ball club. Start number 24. His first handful of starts, first 2 or 3 were pretty bumpy, and then straightened things out and is on quite a run right now. Hoping to regroup after the Peterson home run to start the bottom of the first.
Yeah, in April, it wasn't like he was giving up a lot of runs, but he just wasn't able to get too deep in games. Pitch count got away from him early.
And the 1-2 pitch, he's going to get the corner. Machado didn't think so. It's out number 1.
Third baseman, number 10, Justin Turner.
A polite discussion between the home plate umpire and Manny Machado. Looked like it might have been a touch off the inside corner. 2-seam fastball, has good run and sink to it. I think maybe Kratz influenced that call. Caught it well.
First out of the inning, and here is Justin Turner. This is game number 51 this season for Turner. It's been a frustrating year. He's just had rotten luck staying healthy, and that goes back to spring training. He was hit by a pitch, suffered a broken wrist back on March 19th. That delayed the beginning of his regular season until the middle of May. And recently now just went on the DL with the groin injury and is activated tonight.
Yeah, maybe one of the reasons the Dodgers got off to such a slow start, missing one of their big bats and a leader in that clubhouse. They figured it out. They covered that injury pretty well.
Turner back in the fold. Manny Machado goes back over to short. 2 balls, 1 strike to Turner. Turner made his first All-Star team last year. Did have a terrific season. 21 homers, drove in 71, hit 322. On base percentage of better than 400. A terrific National League Championship Series against the Cubs. There's a ground ball to Aguilar on the shift and the feed to Chassin for out number 2.
Check out the Brewers defensively here tonight. They got Ryan Braun, Lorenzo Cain, and Christian Yelich in the outfield. Travis Shaw over at third base. Mike Moustakas sits this one out. Travis been playing some second base. You got Arcia, Scope up the middle, Aguilar at first, and Eric Kratz getting a start behind home plate. Kratz actually appeared in last night's game at first base.
For the first time in more than a couple of years. 2 outs, bases empty for Yasmani Grandal. As much as he can struggle in the catching department, it has been the total opposite at the plate. Big night last night, ended the game with the walk-off homer. That was one of 2 big flies he hit.
Makes up for it, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Had a great month of July. Had a pretty good start to August.
Got a few players both sides coming off big months of July. Brewers have a couple. Certainly Christian Yelich and the new Brewer, Jonathan Scope. Scope was tearing it up in his final month as a Baltimore Oriole. So Yelich, just an outstanding month. 2-1 pitch.
Christian Yelich standing in the bright sunshine. I would imagine early on tonight that's going to be a bit of an issue. You see him shielding his eyes from the sun. Right about now he's hoping they don't hit one to him.
Somehow the ball finds you in these situations though, right?
Yeah, but not bad enough to, put the glasses on.
All good, he'll tell you. Payoff pitch. Missed ball 4, so Grandal reaches to extend this first inning. Umpires for tonight's Ryan Knights, balls and strikes. Rest of your crew, Jerry Davis, the crew chief over at second this evening. Here's Cody Bellinger. Bellinger back in center field tonight. He was at first base in the lineup last night for the Dodgers. Healthy numbers, albeit, as you would imagine. Last year's Rookie of the Year at limited sample size, but he is 4 for 10 with a long ball against Chassin.
Pretty good low ball hitter. Maybe one of the reasons why he's had success against Chassin. The 2-seamer, the sinker, the curveball down in the zone. The pitch that he almost hit out a couple of nights ago was a curveball down.
Lorenzo Cain brought it back. A leaping catch just over the center field wall. And a 1-0 Brewers win. That was a breaking ball that Bellinger swings through. 2-1 the count.
That's a good pitch right under the bat of Cody Bellinger. Out in front, big hack. Doesn't get cheated.
This is sent in the air to Yelich. He's going to shield his eyes with the glove, no problem. Don't need the glasses, just let the glove do the work. We are through 1, tied at 1 in LA.
All fans of the Brewers series finale against the Rockies will get a Bob Uecker talking bottle opener, courtesy of Palermo's Pizza. For tickets, go to brewers.com.
Brewers take the late night flight after this game here tonight. As Rock mentioned, the Rockies no doubt already settling in Milwaukee. Rockies lost to the Cardinals today. Jose Martinez, a pinch hit, 2-run walk-off single, 3-2 Cardinals over Colorado. Travis Shaw leads off the second inning.
Cardinals playing some pretty good baseball.
Yeah, you cannot don't discount them yet. They're but 3 games over 500, but still a lot left out there to this regular season as we go into the final couple of months. Cubs and Padres are scoreless at Wrigley Field. They are in the 5th inning. Oh, and 2 to Travis Shaw. Shaw not in the lineup tonight. Last night. Moustakas not in the lineup here this evening. Shaw did come off the bench. It was a lefty-lefty matchup, but Shaw was the best available hitter on the roster for Craig Counsell, and against a great ground ball pitcher, Shaw bounced into a double play in the 8th inning.
Yeah, Brewers with only 4 players on their bench to start games. 2 lefties, 2 righties tonight.
Swing and a miss as Kershaw elevates the fastball, and he has struck out the last 3 Brewers he's faced.
That's number 15.
Gets ahead in the count. Normally he's more breaking pitch oriented, but able to get that one over the bat of Travis Shaw. You see a lot of fastballs from Clayton Kershaw early in the count, and once he gets the 2 strikes, he likes to mix in the curveball and slider.
Facing Eric Kratz. That's the call tonight. Kratz actually has been swinging a pretty good bat now over the last 11 games. He's hitting .324.
Yeah, Kratz and Pena swinging much better. Pena's had a good series.
He has 3-hit night last night for Manny. And a bouncing ball over to Justin Turner. 2 up, 2 down. There's been a lot of talk about position areas where Brewers trying to get more offense. Catching spot was 1. He had 3 hits, a big RBI single in the 8th inning. Brewers were battling back and tied that game and forced extra innings. I'm trying to get this guy going. He was showing some good signs in San Francisco. He was a pinch runner in last night's game. Now, to be fair, he's hit the ball hard a couple of times, a couple of warning track fly balls here in this series.
You just got to wait back a little bit better, identify ball and strike a little bit earlier. Swing a lot of pitches out of the strike zone is Orlando Arcia.
Rips one into the seats, and it's 0-2.
It's one of those things. I mean, you start out really slow offensively. You start to get things together. He's swinging the bat well in San Francisco, as you mentioned, and just a little bit of just trying too hard to get things together at the plate. You know how good he can be defensively, but that's only half of it.
Half swing chopper. Grandal is there, and Kershaw breezes through inning number 2. Inning and a half in the books. Brewers and Dodgers tied at 1.
coming off of one of his best starts of the season. It was 7 innings of 1-run ball for him against the Giants, and it was a slow start for him to the season. He was winless over his first 4, but since then he's given the team 7 quality starts, and overall the team has gone 16-7 in his starts. And manager Craig Counsell said you need a starter like him who provides that consistency. He's taken every start of the season so far, and that's important for any starting staff. He said you need guys like him who can go 30 to 32 starts over the course of a season. He has certainly held up his part of that, and he said he didn't come out of spring training with his crisp stuff. Even said it really took him those first 4 starts of the season through April to really get going. He pointed to that start on a cold Sunday afternoon at Citi Field against the New York Mets, but he said since then he's really locked it in, and he's been really the best version of consistency.
He's just been terrific, and yeah, that start after that was against the Marlins at Miller Park, 6 innings of shutout ball, and it's been a pretty good run since, facing Brian Dozier.
In his first 4 starts, he wasn't in the game long enough to really qualify for a win. Just a little over 4 innings to start. All of a sudden, as you mentioned, that one start started to feel a little bit better, pitching deeper, and the Brewers have won a lot of games with him on the mound.
The unsung standouts, I guess you could say, of this ball club. Looking for win number 11. Chassin in this ballpark 5-4. This is his 11th career start here at Dodger Stadium. Facing Dozier, who had 3 hits in 4 at-bats last night, including a home run. His night started in a less than desirable manner. He was charged with a throwing error, and the first hitter of the game was on the Lorenzo Cain triple, and then came around to score when the throw went into the dugout, to the Little League home run, if you will, for Cain. But Dozier's night got a lot better after that.
Yeah, well, he struck out his first time up and then hit the ball hard every other time. And that's the way to make a first impression, right? With your teammates and your fans. Went back-to-back with Grandal last night, home runs.
The home run was his first after the All-Star break this season. Last 2 years, he's combined to go deep 49 times after the All-Star break, and Chassin gets him on strikes to begin the 2nd inning.
Yeah, good pitch down and away. Now Dozier, a very good high ball hitter.
Number 13.
Watch where this one ends up. Good movement. Going down out of the strike zone, and Dozier comes up empty. Borderline knees.
Second strikeout for Jhoulys Chassin. Now facing Max Muncy. Chassin hits the bottom of the zone. Muncy, one of those in the final vote for the National League All-Star team, a vote won by Jesus Aguilar, of course.
And Muncy hitting cleanup first 2 games of the series. Did not start last night. Hitting 7th tonight.
Good breaking ball from Chassin. The Dodgers, like the Brewers, will mix and match their lineups, mix and match positions.
A pretty potent lineup, and that's even without Matt Kemp.
A ball, 2 strikes. Another good breaking ball for out number 2. Back-to-back strikeouts in the 2nd for Chassin.
Man, that was the pitch he was trying to throw to Peterson in the 1st inning.
Number 66.
This is the good one right here. Looks good until it gets to the hitting zone and falls off the table. Good curveball going straight down.
Two up, 2 down. Here's Yasiel Puig. Couple of hits, including an RBI single last night. That RBI single came in the 7th inning. It gave the Dodgers the lead for the first time in this series. Brewers won the opener 5-2 on Monday night.
Led off the 9th inning last night with a double.
He's left stranded at third. Corey Knebel. A big strikeout of Manny Machado sent the game to a 10th inning. As Puig waving and missing.
Curveball's got nice movement, good break on it. Puig thinking to himself, you know, that's a pretty good curveball.
We gotta dig in with this guy.
There's no way I hit that. Don't throw that one again.
Bouncing ball. This is a tough play on the charge. Bare hand pick. Arcia, look at that. Oh, that is so pretty. Orlando Arcia for out number 3 as the Dodgers are retired in order. He may have his struggles at the plate, but not many look better doing this. It is brought to you by the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. By Ascension, coming together to give healthcare a better name. We are Ascension. And by Wisconsin Dells, the water park capital of the world. The rich history of this franchise from Brooklyn to Los Angeles. Great venues, Dodger Stadium. Brewers and LA tied at 1 as we move to the top half of inning number 3. Elise Chassin will lead things off 9-1 and 2 for Milwaukee.
Where's this ballpark rank for you?
Yeah, you know, I'm hearing Adam McCalvy has tweeted throughout this series. Adam, as I'm sure most of you know, covers the Brewers for MLB.com. He has it right at the top. I'm inclined to agree. I mean, we just came from a pretty sweet place in San Francisco. I do like Pittsburgh, PNC Park.
As far as road ballparks, you can't argue with this place.
Yeah, I think this may be there. Just you see the mountains well beyond center field. Just get a sense of the history here at Dodger Stadium. Check out Yolis Chassin as he rips one down the line, and he will coast into second. Eventually, there he is, a double for Chassin.
Yeah, his 8th hit of the year. He's been swinging the bat well, hitting near 200. Coming into that at bat, a 194 batting average. That should get him over 200. There's that fastball out over the plate, and Chassin able to tuck it inside that third baseline for a double. Leadoff double brings the top of the order up. A bullet, hit it hard. Good start to the 3rd inning.
109 miles per hour off the bat. And a good start to inning number 3 for the Brewers. Here is Lorenzo Cain. I should ask you where this.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Right there.
I'm with you.
Okay.
I've been to every ballpark And yeah, this place I really like. I like Fenway Park, of course. I'm talking about road ball parks.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing
Yep.
like Miller Park.
Absolutely.
San Francisco's up there, Pittsburgh. You're right. I think we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Kane grounded to third of the first inning.
I think as far as atmosphere and sound system, this has got everybody beat.
This is, yeah, it's a great sound system here. As I'm sure you have noticed watching these games this week. Always your fair share of celebrity sightings as well. 2 strikes and nothing to Lorenzo Cain. Able to hold up on a pitch in.
They had Kevin Hart down on the field before the game. Comedian. One of the Kardashians was down there. I'm not sure which one it was.
Courtney.
Courtney, was it?
Yes.
Okay.
Just gathering my Kardashian knowledge
Very,
here, Rock.
very nice.
I had to ask a lot of questions. Lorenzo to the right side. Muncy with a nice stop, but that's not going to get the job done. As Cain able to leg it out, and Chacin moves to third.
Boy, hustling all the way down that line. He'll take that base hit. And Kershaw a little bit late getting off the mound. Of course, left-hander only falls off toward third base. That's why it took him a while. And Lorenzo able to beat it, even if Kershaw holds on to it. Got a very good flip. Actually, Kershaw did a pretty good job keeping it close.
Yeah, poor feed. Cain is on, so the first 2 reach here in the third for the Brewers, and here is Christian Yelich.
As well as Matt Muncy has been swinging the bat this year. Defense is not his strong suit.
They really saw that at Miller Park.
Yeah, third base.
Wake out here at the plate without a doubt, though, for Muncy. Yelich doubled and scored in the first inning. Seven-time All-Star, 7 straight years, in fact, for Kershaw. That run stopped this year. Curveball drops for strike 2.
Kershaw kind of leans into his pitches when he's in the stretch. Kind of drifts a little bit. You know, that's certainly just exactly opposite of what, pitching coaches want pitchers to do. You want to bounce on that back leg. He kind of leans at it before he starts his delivery.
Fastball for a called third strike. Out number 1 in the third. Yeah, it's such an unorthodox delivery. I wonder how many times you have to see it to feel like you have any kind of a read.
Yeah, and that's a pretty good pitch on the inside corner. Down and in. Caught the edge.
One out for Jesus Aguilar. And that is ripped right to Justin Turner. Out number 2.
Went right at him. Didn't even have to move.
Number 5, Jonathan Scope.
Base runners staying put. Good thing. It would have been a double play.
Brewers need to cash in here. Yoeli Chacin a leadoff double, advancing on an infield single from Cain. Now it's 2 outs, 2 on for the cleanup man, Jonathan Scope. Scope struck out in the first inning. .360 in the month of July with Baltimore.
Yeah, this guy got to get going. He will. He had a great month of July for Baltimore. Going to really help against left-handed starters the Brewers face.
In addition to the high average, the 9 home runs showed the power, showed it big time last year. Kane is running and Scope a swing and a foul. Grandal took a piece of that, maybe more than a little.
Get him in the ear. What hit him? Bat? Yep. He got him right behind the ear. Pretty much the only spot on a catcher that's not covered.
Says he's all right. Athletic trainer out there to take a look, as well as his manager.
Check out that card that he's got on his arm.
Yep.
Not exactly sure what that is, but interesting.
2 strikes and nothing to Scope.
I've not noticed that, before tonight.
Right. Like a quarterback looking at his call sheet.
Right. It's like a hot zone chart on the strike zone.
Scope coming over. Final day of the before the deadline, non-waiver trade deadline. Jonathan Villar, Louis Ortiz, and Gene Carmona. 0-2 pitch. Hanging in there, and Grandal took another one.
Been a rough night so far for Grandal. A couple of wild pitches. He's gotten dinged a couple of times. Right on the ankle bone and on the head with the bat. Ball gets him in the leg. Bat gets him on the head.
In the meantime, it remains 0-2 to Scope. This is away with the fastball. Ball, 2 strikes. Scope laying off. Making Kershaw work here. This is a big opportunity. They don't want to let this slip away. You get your pitcher starting the inning with a double.
Yeah, get that pitch counted up, get into the bullpen.
Here's the 2-2. All-star last year was Scope. 32 homers, drove in 105. Play some third. Just talked about being willing to go over short. Had a couple of starts there last year with the Orioles. And a curve is swung on and missed. Grandal's going to have to secure it. And he does, and the inning is over. At the corners with nobody out, but the Brewers do not score. It remains a 1-1 game.
And last night, Zach Davies made a minor league rehab start. Zach Davies made a minor league rehab start with 2 2/3 innings, gave up 5 runs on 4 hits, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts as well. And manager Craig Counsell saying he came through that outing healthy, so he will continue to stay with the Sky Sox and make his next start in Tacoma. Craig Counsell saying he would likely need 1 additional start, just with the length of time that he's missed dealing with both the shoulder injury and then the back tightness that has bothered him as well. But the important part, Davies made it through that next start healthy, so he'll stay with the Sky Sox and make likely 2 more starts.
All right, Sophia, thanks. Yeah, and Rocky, she said that's the most important thing there. You can look at the line and go, wow, that's a tough night. But I think with Zach right now, feel good the next day, take your next turn.
No, that's the thing. I mean, it's all about health and feeling good the day after you make your start. You know, for a control pitcher like Davies, you know, as much time as he's missed, you don't expect a whole lot. Now, the next couple of starts, it better be better. At that point, then you think about bringing him back.
There's Clayton Kershaw leading off the third for the Dodgers. He had a good day at the plate in his last outing against the Braves. Had a 2-run single and walked a couple of times.
2 pretty good hitting pitchers in this game tonight.
Yeah, apparently, Chacin doubled off Kershaw to start the top half of this inning.
Both of them pitching well. Both of them can hit.
A ball and 2 strikes to Kershaw. On the ground to Jonathan Scope. Out number 1. That last appearance for Clayton Kershaw. Pitched pretty well in that game too. How about that? A single, 3 walks, and then you record 8 strikeouts. Whitey Ford and Robin Roberts.
Pretty fancy filter right there.
Yeah, it is.
Man. Well done.
Some good company. That's a good digging. That's what that is.
Wow.
Put up about that kind of material. It's good hustle. Well, as BA said, you saw it, you heard Brian's voice in the open there. Kershaw, surefire Hall of Famer. If he retired today.
Yeah, he would. There hasn't been a pitcher any more dominant than he's been in his era. There's been some good ones. They're pretty close, but Kershaw, he's the guy, right?
You mentioned the Cy Youngs. Remember the Cy Young and the MVP award in 2014. Top of the order, Jock Peterson, who homered in the bottom of the first. It's 15 home runs now and 40 runs driven in. Playing left tonight. Matt Kemp not in the lineup. Breaking ball evens the count. Peterson burst onto the scene 3 years ago in All-Star season, hit 26 homers. 20 came in the first half of the season. Just does miss.
He has had trouble with the off-speed stuff in this series, but the home run came on a changeup, that split change that Chacin left up in the zone. Good fastball hitter.
Well, remains full. Mention that great start he had, the terrific season. He burst onto the scene. 15 last year, he experienced the flip side. He spent some time in the minor leagues and had a productive bat in the World Series against the Astros. Another chance for Jonathan Scope, and he kicked it. Peterson is on E4.
Well, it went from dirt to grass, and it kind of fooled Scope a little bit, but that's one you got to gobble up. I mean, you can't give extra outs to this ball club. And relatively routine ground ball to Jonathan Scope, and just kind of rolled right up his glove. And Those are mistakes you can't make against the Dodgers.
Well, you're right, especially with this kind of lineup, as now Scope's good friend Manny Machado steps to the plate. Struck out in the first inning.
Chassin got one down and in right on the inside corner. Maybe a little bit off. He got the call on Machado. I'm sure he might be looking in there now.
Good breaking ball has Machado way in front.
Yeah, he doesn't get cheated either, right?
Saw that in the ninth inning last night.
Cody Bellinger with the big hack. Look at this swing from Manny Machado. Pulling his head way out in front. Good pitch.
Up the middle and through a base hit. Peterson motors around second. The Dodgers have runners at the corners with one away. It gets away from Arcia. Peterson's coming home, and all of a sudden the Brewers defense, which has been pretty close to airtight on this road trip, has gotten very loose.
Yeah, a little sloppy. Can't be giving that stuff away like that.
Number 10, Justin Turner.
And this road trip has seen some really good defense by the Brewers, but kind of falling apart in this inning. They back up the middle. Scope tried to get there, couldn't do it. Kind of a lackadaisical throw and not much of an effort to catch it. And a run comes in. That'll be an E8.
A gift run here for the Dodgers. Here's Justin Turner.
Give the error on Arcia.
I believe they did.
That's a tough error on him. That was a tough hop. That wasn't a very good throw by Lorenzo.
2 errors in the inning. The Brewers had committed just one on the road trip before this inning here tonight. That was in the series opener against the Giants last Thursday.
And that's the only way you win close games. Playing tight defensively.
Turner grounded to Aguilar in the first inning. Breaking ball in there for strike 2.
Hey, we got JT. Come here, like.
Lead here for the Dodgers. A gift wrapped run here in the inning. Two-strike pitch. Machado's running. Pitch is taken, and the throw not nearly in time.
They stole that one on Chassin. That big high leg kick took his time to get rid of it. No chance to throw him out. Pratt's been throwing the baseball well on this road trip. See how long it takes Chassin to get rid of it, and don't even bother throwing it.
So again, the Dodgers with a runner in scoring position. A ball, 2 strikes to Turner. This is a guy whose career came alive with the Dodgers over in 2014. Originally drafted by the Reds 12 years ago. Bounced around, time with the Orioles. A few years with the Mets, but as a Dodger, the career has blossomed. Here's the 1-2 and a curveball hit it.
Well, we're going to get hit by a pitch. Curveball, not a bad one to get hit by. Not a lot on it. That one got away from Chassin. He hasn't hit many batters this year. That one got him right above the padding on the arm.
Started innocently enough. A ground ball from Kershaw. Peterson then hit what looked like a routine ground ball that Stoke could not field for an error. One of 2 miscues in the inning for the Brewers. Now a hit batsman. Here's Grandal. Walked in the first. He has to be careful with this guy.
You got to be careful with all of them. I mean, this lineup is pretty potent all the way up and down.
No breaks.
1 through 9 actually tonight with Kershaw, the pitcher, up. And Matt Kemp's not even playing today.
Now 3 balls, no strikes to Yasmani Grandal. Bellinger on deck. Missed an opportunity at the top of this inning. Dodgers now trying to put together a big bottom of the 3rd. Finally a strike.
Grandal took a high fastball from Matt Albers last night, ended the game with a home run. He's hitting everything these days.
One of 2 home runs he hit. The first one was after Chase Anderson had retired the first 12. And now Chassin with a breaking ball is battling back a full count. Grandal's had pretty good power now the last 3 years. Hit 27 homers for the Dodgers 2 years ago, 22 last season. 3-2 pitch.
Wow.
Oh, he just missed it. Chassin wants to know where.
Yeah, that's brutal. That's a good pitch. Come on, Brian. That's just he kicked that one. Oakland umpire is telling him to throw it back to him. Eric Kratz saying, how about calling a strike? That's a good pitch. Well, coming all the way back from 3-0, and you make that pitch right there, you don't get the call. That's just terrible.
Potentially very, very huge. Loaded with 1 out. Derek Johnson with a well-timed mound visit here, trying to settle Chassin.
Yeah, tremendous pitch on a full count. The last thing Grandal's thinking is curveball. He put it exactly where you need to put it. And Brian Knight just kicked the call. That's a big call right there.
Here in the early stages of this game, we got a big moment coming up here for Chassin after a big miss right here.
Yeah, well, Eric Kratz, everybody in the ballpark, but the home plate umpire thought that was a strike.
Run across for the Dodgers in the 3rd, loaded with 1 out. Here's Cody Bellinger.
And he gives him that. Not a strike, got the call.
Bellinger hit a fly ball to right to the first inning. 17 homers. He's driven in 44. And a long fly ball hitting a deep right field. And it is off the wall. It is gone, a grand slam. Bellinger goes deep right down the line for a grand slam to bust it open in the third.
There's the curveball, pretty much the same pitch that Grandal got. Dings off the foul pole, and this inning just kind of evaporated on the Brewers. A couple of errors, a blown call on the third strike, and now a grand slam.
Right off the pole, and now it is a 6-1 lead for the Dodgers as Brian Dozier steps in. Number 18 for Cody Bellinger. 5 straight Dodgers have reached. Hard to fight the frustration right now. Errors, a hit batsman, a missed call on what would have been a third strike. Yasmani Grandal.
Really, the Brewers have did this inning to themselves, really, with the errors, the hit batter. Yeah, Brian Knight did miss a call, but he did not give up the home run.
Yep. 2 errors in the inning. One on Scope, the other on Orlando Arcia. Here's a ground ball over to Arcia, and that is out number 2. Very early here tonight, just the 3rd inning. Here's Max Muncy, the 8th man to hit here in the 3rd for the Dodgers. Six runs on 3 hits. 2 hits this inning, a 5-run inning for LA.
And 2 of the 3 hits, homers. We've been watching Cody Bellinger swing the entire series. He loves the ball down. And that's exactly where that curveball ended up.
Two balls, 1 strike. Liner caught by Travis Shaw, and that'll end the inning. A big inning for the Dodgers. They scored 5 times, and they lead by 5 after 3.
Yankees and the Red Sox renewing their rivalry at Fenway Park. And Steve Pearce, what a night for him at the plate. A 3-homer night in the third inning, a solo shot to left field off of CC Sabathia. He would follow that with a 3-run homer in the fourth, and then a 2-run homer in the sixth. So the Red Sox have taken a 14-5 lead over the Yankees in that one, thanks to Pearce's night at the plate. 3 hits for him, 6 RBIs.
Well, been some crazy scores, hasn't there?
Yeah, nuts. The Nationals a couple days ago. There's how it looks in the AL East. A 5.5 game lead for the Red Sox. The Yankees still in a very good spot. Oakland A's making a big push now. On even with the Mariners. 6 teams battling for 5 spots as it looks right now in the American League.
Yeah, Oakland, one of the hottest teams in baseball. Now with the Yankees, Sonny Gray taken out of the rotation was announced. Well, leaking oil a little bit are the Yankees.
A little bit.
Aaron Judge on the disabled list.
Ryan Braun leading off in the fourth. Jay Happ also on the 10-day DL. Ball a strike to Braun. Brewers have a lot of work to do against one of the best around. Down 5 to Clayton Kershaw and the Dodgers.
Yeah, not sure how many times that Kershaw has given up a 5-run lead in his career, but I would imagine count him on one hand.
I would think very few. Braun hits it well out to center field. The right to Cody Bellinger for out number 1.
Hey, MLB.TV Premium is now available at a lower price for just $59.99. You can access HD streams of all out-of-market games on your favorite devices. Plus, enjoy a free MLB At-Bat Premium subscription when you sign up. Learn more by visiting MLB.TV today.
One away in the fourth for Travis Shaw. Shaw a strikeout victim in the second. Kershaw with 5 strikeouts through the first 3 innings. Brewers with 3 hits, had a great chance in the third off Kershaw. Runners at the corners with nobody out. Kershaw was able to get Yelich, Aguilar, and Jonathan Scope.
Yeah, 2, 3, 4 in the batting order coming up. Man, that's Clayton Kershaw, though. He's able to get his outs when he needs them most. Gave up a couple of hits to start the inning.
Here's the 1-2 to Shaw.
Well, there's better fastballs there, 93.
More like the Clayton Kershaw of a few years ago. Tried the slider and missed. Shaw is able to hold up. Alfonso Marquez over there at third. Full count now to Shaw. Mentioned the velocity down a little bit here for Clayton Kershaw the last few years, and thus doesn't throw it as much.
And when he does throw it, he's pretty good on the corners. Doesn't make too many mistakes with it. What another good pitch.
Thank you very much.
Boy.
Travis Shaw is aboard.
15,
Good eye, Travis.
Tight strike zone here tonight.
Yeah.
1 out, 1 on in the fourth. What a beautiful night here at Dodger Stadium. Series wrap up. Eric Kratz, the hitter. In the air to right. Yasiel Puig coming on. That's out number 2. Here's Orlando Arcia. A terrific play in the second inning. Bare hand pick on a chopper off the bat of Puig.
Yeah, that's a tough play. That ball had a little bit of heat on it. Wasn't one of those where you would expect him to go bare hand. I didn't figure he had time to get in the glove and do the transfer. Yeah, tremendous play.
Shaw, the runner at first, drawing a walk. And it's 2 balls, no strikes to Arcia. Season-long battle at the plate for Orlando Arcia.
After a really good year last year.
277 season last year.
This goes to show you it's not easy, this game. I mean, teams are going to make adjustments on you. Continually have to work. Not that he has not, he's done it. He has not been able to make the adjustments during the game.
Down to AAA and got together some confidence, put up some pretty good numbers in 22 games with Colorado Springs. That was the second time he was sent down. The first time it was very short because of the Tyler Saladino injury. Came right back up. But Craig Counsell has talked a lot about, certainly not as much, not nearly as much about the mechanics, just getting some confidence back, not chasing.
Remember last year when he started to hit, right before the All-Star break, everything was going to right field. Staying on the baseball, driving the ball into right field, right center. Then all of a sudden after the All-Star break, come around July, end of July, August, started to turn on some pitches. That's when the power came for Arcia. He's got to find that right field stroke because right now they're just wearing him out on the outside corner.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And that's hit sharply, and that gets through, a base hit. Pulls one through the hole, and the Brewers have runners at first and second.
Yeah, Kershaw threw the fastball middle in. Now Arcia able to hit it hard into left field. That cut fastball that stayed out over the plate, and Orlando able to open the hips up and rip one into left. Check out the bat. This one gets Grandal too. He's been getting beat up back there.
Yeah, Scope got him in the 3rd inning. Here's Chacin, who doubled down the line his first at bat on the 3rd base line. Chacin's not at the plate, presented by Blaze Pizza. He started the 3rd inning with that double down the line, 109 miles per hour off the bat.
And now Justin Turner is guarding the line a little bit more.
Able to turn one on Kershaw.
Yeah, first at bat, they didn't believe he can pull it. Now Turner a little bit more toward the line.
One pitch. Bouncing ball. There's Turner. And that'll do it for the Brewers in the 4th. Strand a couple of runners. We're through 3 1/2 at Dodger Stadium. LA leading 6-1. Brought to you by Miller Lite. Great taste and only 96 calories. And by Toyota. Let's go places. Los Angeles, California on a Thursday night. Little summer haze here on the coast. Well, it's the obligatory celebrity sighting portion of the broadcast. Pat Sajak here at the ballpark.
Give me a T.
By a vowel. And Kourtney Kardashian, Rock. Matter of fact, she was one of those Kevin Hart throwing out the first pitch tonight. Close enough.
Yeah. Never know who you're going to see here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Look at the size of Kenley Jansen compared to those two.
Yeah, they both are towered over as Yasiel Puig yanks one deep and gone. Third home run for the Dodgers tonight. They now lead it 7-1.
Number 8 hitter, Yasiel Puig, on a slider that time from Chacin, and he turns on it. A no doubter. Look at the extension for Puig. Good balance at the swing, and this ball crushed.
Statcast AI powered by AWS, more than 99 miles per hour off the bat of Yasiel Puig. This becomes a real tester here for Chacin. He needed 35 pitches to get through the third inning. And the fourth begins on the sour note.
And he's given up 4 hits, 3 of them homers. Yeah.
Couple of errors previous inning as Kershaw is at the plate. They blow the grand slam off the bat of Cody Bellinger. The pitching and the defense, the Dodgers last night, and they finally got the first grand all home run that snapped a string of 13 straight innings where they did not score. But it is next to impossible to keep a lineup like this down for any length of time. Kershaw, a base hit. Actually, he had a 2-run single in his last start in Atlanta, and he's 1 for 2 tonight.
A few times we've seen Chacin struggle lately. He's been so good. And that curveball down and in, and didn't fool Kershaw. Hits it hard into right.
Now back to the top of the order for Jock Peterson. Homered, and he's reached on an error. Scored on a second error.
Should have asked Pat Sajak for a K. He could use a strikeout. Or 2.
Well put. Oh, he still could.
Give me 3 Ks.
Brad Paisley was here on Monday night. Country star. Mud on the Tires, right? Good songs.
Is that what it is?
I think it is.
A little mud on the tires?
Mud on the tires. I think so. Should never ad lib.
He draws a crowd, doesn't he? Brad Paisley.
Oh, he does.
They were all over him. Players, yep. Do you have a pickup truck?
I do not. I believe you do, though.
Yeah.
Do you not?
I very rarely have mud on my tires.
Mud on the tires. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of the big hits for Brad Paisley. This is country music. Oh, that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Peterson hits this one a mile high. And going a long way was Shaw, but he'll give way, and wisely so, to Christian Yelich for out number 1.
And of course, we have a Tommy the Shortest sighting again here tonight.
Oh, yeah. Always. One of the great ambassadors this game has ever had. And oh, by the way, not a bad manager either. The World Series titles.
Comes with a lot of games. He shows up a little bit late, leaves early, beats the crowd. That is Tommy's seat every night.
No shortage of celebrities. Obviously, Dodgers stars of the past. A few of them working various broadcast platforms out here in LA.
A couple of years ago, Will Ferrell was down by the batting cage. That was a big thrill for me.
You met him?
I mean, who's not a Will Ferrell fan?
Nobody I know of. They all love him. Dennis Haysbert, seen him on some commercials, among other things.
Great voice.
Yeah. Did you get a picture?
I did not. I'm not.
Really?
Like
you didn't do a selfie?
No. That's you know, I wouldn't embarrass myself.
Put
like
that on Twitter.
I asked him. I thought I asked him a pretty cool question. I said, "What are you working on, Will?"
Yeah.
So I'm working on this NASCAR movie you might like. Ricky Bobby.
Yeah. So you got the scoop.
Yeah. Before it came out, didn't know.
Be an entertainment reporter. Two balls, 2 strikes to Machado. Sharply hit. Scope is there. Out at second and out at first. A 4-3 double play. A little help there for Chacin. Dodgers pick up another run. They lead by 6 after 4. At the grand opening of Fiserv Forum, Milwaukee's new state-of-the-art arena on Tuesday, September 4th, along with special guest and Milwaukee natives Violent Femmes. Tickets go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. For details, visit foxsportswisconsin.com/events. You gotta clean this up. I think of like current events, you know, Dennis Haysbert, you know, certain commercials we see him on. But as every right-thinking American, any right-thinking human being knows, one of the great motion pictures starring our own Bob Uecker, Major League, Pedro Serrano.
Yeah, right? Where's Joe Vu?
Took me a minute there. Took us all a minute. Like, that's right. Yeah. Pedro Serrano. Grab the bat right now.
Yeah, looking good.
Let's go.
He can hit him a long way, old Pedro.
I love those movies. I love hearing the stories that Bob Uecker has the making of them.
Actually, Major League 2 was on in the hotel. I think it was either here in LA or at the end of the series in San Francisco. I forget who I was watching. Uecker was good in that one.
Oh, he was good. Your buddy Pete Vukovich.
Yeah.
There. As Ueck said, Major League 1 and 2 were good. Major League 3 went right to the airplane. Oh, I love it. Lorenzo Cain leading off here in the 5th inning. Brewers scored a run in the 1st inning, had a sizable threat in the 3rd. Not cashing in, and the Dodgers on the flip side have taken advantage of an opening or two the Brewers have given them and have popped it open. A 6-run lead, but was just in the 5th inning. You know, speaking of celebrity sightings, a happy 35th birthday to Jeff Levering.
Yeah.
The call on the Brewers radio network. Lane Grindle, look at that.
It's quite the celebration today in
Really
the press box here at Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
Cupcakes for everybody.
Oh, kind of an unofficial Jeff Levering day here at the ballpark.
Yeah.
The cupcakes. Courtesy of Mr.
You know,
Grindle.
his partner Lane Grindle went out and bought cupcakes for everybody for Lane's birthday.
Yeah. How many did you have, by the way?
One. I consider it bad form if you don't have any of the birthday cupcake or cake.
Also, I was being rude.
That's bad luck for that guy. Now, if something happens, it's on you now. I had one. Yep, good. It was good. I know Sammy had 2 or 3. Kent Sommerfeld.
Oh, yeah, he's all over it. You know that. Hard-working Kent Sommerfeld.
Yep, happy birthday to Jeff Levering.
Absolutely. Great guy and a terrific broadcaster.
Yeah.
Good to see him a few times during the winter months when he's on his basketball circuit. BTN and Fox and FS1.
Yeah, the game notes today says Brewers radio celebrity Jeff Levering celebrates his 35th birthday today. That's Mike Vassallo's attempt at humor.
He does like to refer to you as Brewers television personality. Here's Christian Yelich, hits this one right on the button into right field and on a line. That's out of here. A rocket shot off the bat of Christian Yelich, and it's a 7-2 ball game.
Amazing success against left-handers and amazing success against some of the best left-handers in the game. Just killing left-handers this year. Check this out. You know, fastball down and in, and 88 miles an hour. He turns it around. I like to see the exit velocity on that baby. He smokes it. Home run number 16. 109 miles an hour off the bat of Christian Yelich. Boy, guy can hit.
Double and a homer tonight for Yelich. Here's Aguilar. Walk and a liner to third for Jesus tonight. Curve is swung on and missed. Dodgers home runs. That's 136 now for the Brewers. They've been up near the top, and at times at the top in the National League this year, the power department.
Haven't hit too many on the road trip, although they've been winning a lot.
Aguilar to right field, long run for Puig, but he gets there easily for out number 2.
Second baseman Jonathan Scope.
2 away, base is empty.
The Brewers hold a 2-1 advantage so far in this series. They've only hit 2 home runs.
Yeah, the biggest coming on Monday night from Eric Thames, a 3-run homer. Will lead the way to a 5-2 Brewers win. A night that had a power outage that delayed things here for 23 minutes. Freddie Peralta grinding through 4, and then the bullpen picked him up. And a classic of the game on Tuesday night, and a real good one last night as well.
Yeah.
Didn't turn out the way you would hope as a Brewer fan.
Yeah, a lot of really good plays. You know, defense, a lot of good base running, pitching really good, timely hitting by both teams, and it was just one of those classic games here at Dodger Stadium. And unfortunately, the Brewers didn't win, but a well-played game all the way around. Moustakas with a big day at the plate and in the field. He's been terrific at third base in this series.
A spectacular play with the bases loaded in the 8th inning. Took away what would in all probability have been a bases clearing knock down the line. Kept the game tied. Preview of coming attractions. I think just the atmosphere, the intensity here last night as Scope goes down swinging. That'll do it for the Brewers in inning number 5. But Christian Yelich gets into another one. 16 homers on the year. 7-2 LA.
Brewers trail the Dodgers here 7-2 in the bottom of the 5th at Dodger Stadium. And the Brewers' wives play an important role in the club's community outreach efforts through their commitment to several important causes. Each summer, the Brewers' wives team up with BCF to raise funds through a number of special events, with proceeds earmarked for various organizations in Greater Milwaukee. And Matt Rock, after this game, the team will fly home to begin that 3-game series against the Rockies. Junior Guerra is tomorrow's starter, and he's already left. He left earlier today. Craig Counsell saying they just wanted him to get ahead and not have to do the overnight flight. So Guerra will be ready to go and well rested for tomorrow's start.
All right, Sophia, thank you very much. Starting that big series with the Rockies. BA will be well rested tomorrow as well.
Yeah, we sent him ahead. We sent him ahead.
Yep, he's ahead.
So he's ready.
Well rested back in Milwaukee.
Show tomorrow.
Yep, back at his palatial estate. He's got a grueling 3-game stretch coming up.
Yeah, well, it's not easy.
Justin Turner leading things off.
Well, every team goes through it, right? I mean, the Brewers' last road trip, they had a night game in Miami. And flew to Pittsburgh, got in at the wee hours. But hey, those are the things that happen. This is Major League Baseball. Every team has to deal with it. And the Brewers are going to have a long night tonight. They got to be ready to go tomorrow. Craig Counsell preparing his team by having no batting practice on the field before today's game. I would imagine the same is going to be tomorrow.
It was a good series the Brewers had in Colorado back in May. This stretch against the NL West continuing. The series with the Rockies and then the San Diego Padres coming in next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Another 3-city trip. The Brewers have 5 off days in the month of August. That will certainly help. The Brewers have an off day on Monday. Their first off day since the All-Star break.
And remember, going into that break, they played 21 games in 20 days. That included the makeup, the doubleheader against the Pirates in Pittsburgh. The off days will start to become more prominent and hopefully quite helpful for this team as we move through August and on into September, where Thursdays are clear.
Yeah, Craig Counsell saying before this stretch of 17 in a row, if we can hang in there and just keep our heads above water throughout this stretch, they're going to be okay, because the schedule turns favorable with off days, and they have certainly done that. A 3-3 homestand, a 5-2 road trip so far to the West Coast. These guys have played hard out here these 8 games.
I think anytime you go out west and you can have a winning road trip, you should feel good about it.
Yeah.
See if they can rally tonight, but at worst it's going to be 5-3. Still got a long way to go here tonight. We've seen this team rally from deficits before. Yes, they're facing Kershaw tonight, but there's one thing we've learned with this club. It's a bad idea to count them out.
Yeah, don't leave early.
Here's Yasmani Grandal. Couple of walks for the Dodgers catcher tonight.
Pitch count getting up there for Chacin, just through 97th pitch. Can't imagine he's going to go much longer.
Included a 35-pitch third inning for Chacin. 2-1.
Just can't find a strike zone right now.
And Albert's up for the Brewers.
And he needs some work. He needs to figure it out. A couple of appearances since coming off the disabled list have not gone very well for him. Losing pitcher last night in the 10th.
And it's a shame the ERA has really gone up. The bulk of the work has been very good for Albers this year. Full count now to Grandal. Leadoff man is reached in 4 of the first 5 innings. Or 3 of the first 5, I should say, for the Dodgers. 2 of those home runs, Peterson and Puig, and then a walk here to Turner to start the 5th. Padres lead the Cubs 6-1. Top of the 9th inning at Wrigley. Grandal to Chacin. Out number 1. Turner moving to second. Mention what the Brewers schedule is coming up. The Dodgers stay home. They're going to take on the Houston Astros. The rematch series of their 7-game World Series that ended in this ballpark.
I would imagine if the Dodgers were heading to Houston for tomorrow's game, this would have been a day game.
That's a good guess.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Since they're staying home. They did the Brewers a favor by starting an hour early.
That's right. Thanks a lot.
Thanks for nothing.
Nice of you. The man responsible for breaking this game open at the plate right now, Bellinger. Smacked one off the foul pole and right with the bases loaded. And here's how it looked.
Yeah, the curveball didn't do a whole lot. And the question was, fair or foul? Hits a foul pole. That's the big blow tonight.
2 balls, no strikes. Such a terrific rookie season, rookie of the year. Ran out of gas as the postseason was moving along in a very tough World Series. But clearly one of the bright young players in this Dodgers organization, Cody Bellinger, has been issued a 4-pitch walk. So a couple of walks here from Chacin in the 5th.
Can't imagine Craig Counsell is going to keep Chacin out there much longer. At the end right now, here he comes. It's going to be a double switch. Deserved a better fate in the 3rd inning, that's for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. A couple of errors hurting the cause. It looked like a strikeout of Grandal. Was called a ball. A big blow, the grand slam for Bellinger. Double switch. We're going to see Mike Moustakas come into the ball game now. Jonathan Scope, as we have a pitching change, a double switch here in LA with the Dodgers leading 7-2.
Rockies for the first of a 3-game series. All 5 county residents can save 50% on tickets for the matchup, and you can book yours by heading to brewers.com/5county.
Well, 7-2 lead for the Dodgers here, and the Brewers with a double switch. Start with Matt Albers, who's trying to get some things right on the mound as Matt gets another shot here tonight.
And 5 of his last 6 appearances, he's given up runs. His earned run average went from 108 to what it is right now at 497. Second and 3rd appearance on the road trip.
We'll get the rest of the infield defense organized as Brian Dozier steps in and looks at a strike from Albers. Mike Moustakas now comes into the game. He'll hit in the 9th spot of the order. Play third base. Travis Shaw will move over to second. Dozier tonight a strikeout and a ground ball to short. Dozier, one of 2 acquisitions the Dodgers made just before the non-waiver deadline. Coming over from the Twins for Logan Forsythe and a couple of minor leaguers. Also acquired John Axford, the former Brewer, comes over from the Blue Jays for a minor league pitcher. Axford expected to join the Dodgers tomorrow.
Yeah, getting here a bit late.
Oh, 0-2 the count to Dozier. And this is hit well into left field. Back goes Braun, and another long ball for Brian Dozier, and it's 10-2 Los Angeles.
He's off to a pretty good start for the Dodgers. He likes the ball up, he likes it in, and he knocks this one out of the ballpark. A couple of walks, score in front of the home run by Dozier.
First baseman,
And the Dodgers just busted this one wide open.
4 home runs tonight for the Dodgers. 2 solo shots, a grand slam, and then the 3-run bomb from Dozier. Here's Max Muncy.
Nine runs off of Yoeli Chacín tonight.
While the struggles continue for Matt Albers.
9 runs, 8 earned runs. Earned run average goes up to 389. Rough outing for him. And the problems continue. I'm sorry. The problems continue for Matt Albers.
Game-ending home run last night. And the first man he faces tonight takes him deep.
Well, you figure he's going to stay out there a while. Craig Counsell needs him to get things together. And Matt Albers is just too good to be giving up runs like this. Spent a lot of time on the disabled list. Location not very good, that's to say the least. He's at his best when that ball's sinking and he's on the corners.
Still struggling mightily as he walks Muncy. About the ebb and flow of a season, how about the ebb and flow of a week for the Dodgers offense? They came within an out of being no hit. Sean Newcomb of the Atlanta Braves on Sunday managed just a couple of runs in a 5-2 loss on Monday, shut out Wade Miley and company on Tuesday night, but now the bats have come alive in a big way.
Yeah. 6 hits, 4 of them homers tonight.
One of them from Puig. That was in the 4th inning. Ten runs, 6 hits. Advantage of a couple of errors, a hit batsman, and 6 walks from Brewers pitching, 4 from Chacín. Make that 5 walks from Brewers pitching. 4 from Chacín. The 1-1 to Puig. It's in the final year of his contract. Puig, arbitration eligible next. He's not available or not eligible for free agency until 2020. Ball, 2 strikes.
Well, Puig has 5-tool ability. There's not a whole lot he cannot do on the ball field. He just lacks consistency. Worked very hard with Turner Ward, the Dodgers hitting coach, to try and level out that swing. That swing looked pretty good his last time up.
Sure did. Had a couple of hits last night. Drove in a run. Here's the 1-2. Curry out of play.
And a slider from Matt Albers. You saw it had some break to it, but it didn't have the tilt. And when he's going well, Albers throwing that slider, not only going away, but down. That slider pretty flat. There is not a more lonely feeling than what he's going through right now.
Miss. Takes care of Yasiel Puig for out number 2.
Yeah, perfect right there, down and away. That's the Matt Albers we saw early in the year, right here, right in the corner. Puig pulls off of it.
So 2 away with Muncy the runner at first. Clayton Kershaw singled his last time at the plate. Down 0-2. I think if you're Albers, you're relying on the veteran savvy. He's been around a while.
He's got to keep the confidence is what you have to do. I mean, it's easy to get your head down and feel like nothing you throw is really where you want it. There's another good pitch.
Back-to-back strikeouts for Albers will end the inning, but another sizable inning for the Dodgers. They scored 3 more and lead 10-2.
They always said I had a face for radio. Must have a face for bottle openers, too. Get up, get off the couch, and bring me another one of those. Put this one on my tab. Actually, put it on Council's tab. Last call. Just kidding. I'll be here all night.
Oh, that's going to be fun. Pedro Serrano wants one of those. You know he does. The Bob Uecker bottle opener.
Got to get a few of those back at the house. I have a feeling you have one of those at a party that's going to walk on you somehow. Put that under lock and key.
Oh, yeah. That is awesome.
Big league. Anything with Uke's name on it or voice, got to have it.
It's a must-have.
Yep.
I've got the alarm clock on my desk.
I have one too.
Yeah. Right next to my Bill Schroeder disco bobblehead,
Yep.
as a matter of fact. It's good.
I got the Euchre 8-ball.
Oh, that's right. That's right. Add the bottle opener. That's fun.
Yeah.
Blake Kershaw getting ready for his 6th inning of work. Rough night at the yard so far for the Brewers. The Cubs, though, have lost. That has gone final at Wrigley. The Padres got him. Robbie Erlin pitching well. 6-1 Padres over the Cubs. Ryan Braun, Travis Shaw, Eric Kratz here in the 6th. Shoots one foul. 2 strikes and nothing.
So you know what I've noticed in this 4-game series? You know, the folks down the lines, corralling the balls. I mean, they play the caroms extremely well.
They do.
They would be outstanding billiards players.
They know the yard.
They do. They seem to be right in the perfect spot. That's a great job, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. He heads up always. You know, Ken Spindler took that role in one day last year. The media relations gurus for the Milwaukee Brewers. The athletically gifted Ken Spindler. Handled it very well. Here's a chance right here. Here's what we're talking about.
Yeah, see? Exactly where he knew it was going to be.
Yep.
You know, it's interesting what they do in San Francisco and Arizona. They have the bald dudes in San Francisco, the older guys.
That's right. Yep.
They take great pride in that. They actually give us a sheet of paper on our desk here at the ballpark. Give us a little background on every one of them.
They do.
They make a big deal about it. I like that.
The bald dudes. Ron reaches out and will lift one into right field. There's Yasiel Puig, one out.
I forget what they call them in Arizona. We're going to have to look that up. I'm not asking you. But.
Well, you know, we might have time.
Number 21, Travis Shaw.
Trying to remember.
Maybe one of our buddies that works the Arizona games might be listening. Brad Weimer, maybe. Can text me.
Big dog. He's not playing video games.
Well, you know he is.
Yeah. He's taking a break from playing video games.
Takes no breaks.
Well, he might be very busy. Diamond, assuming he is working tonight. D-backs are in action. That doesn't necessarily mean Weimer is, but the D-backs are. Oh, 0-2 to Travis Shaw. Down the line, it'll carry into the seats. Shaw started the night at third, now handling things at second after the double switch. Moustakas in the lineup. Mike hitting ninth in the batting order. And the 0-2 again. Kike Hernandez in the lineup now. It's short. Executed a safety squeeze coming off the bench last night. Did Hernandez. Scored Chris Taylor as Shaw looks at a called third strike at the bottom of the zone. 2 away.
Catcher, Eric
Fastball
Kratz.
in 91, but look where he's putting it. I mean, hadn't made too many mistakes with the fastball. Made one to Yelich, who knocked it out of the ballpark, but for the most part, puts it exactly where the mid is.
7 strikeouts for Kershaw. Now faces Eric Kratz. And hits it on the nose, and it is picked off the grass by Jock Peterson. Nice play out and left. And that'll do it for the Brewers here in inning number 6. Got there just in time did Peterson. 10-2 LA. Drive off the bat of Eric Kratz. Looked like he did at first, but the Brewers, why not? Take a look. A night where very little is going right for Craig Counsell's team.
The question is the ball, it looks like it bounces, but is it in the glove of Peterson when it bounces, or does it hit the grass? If it bounces in the glove, obviously it's a catch. You can't blame Craig Counsell. That would be a hit for Eric Kratz. You got to do it regardless of the score.
And he remains out. Worth a try, but the call will remain the same, and it's still 10-2 LA. Most interesting man in sports. You get opinion that cuts through the hype. Get Speak for Yourself with Colin Cowherd and Jason Whitlock. Weekdays at 4 p.m. Central only on FS1. Bottom of the 6th inning. Matt Albers will stay on the mound. He'll face the top of the order for the Dodgers. Bats have come alive, and it started with Peterson right away. Led off the bottom of the 1st with a home run off Yoelis Chacin. 4 homers for the Dodgers here tonight, including a grand slam from Bellinger and a 3-run homer in the 5th from Brian Dozier. Peterson, Hernandez, and Justin Turner. Hernandez coming in for Manny Machado. A ball, a strike.
You know, never guess who texted me just now.
Not Brad Weimer.
Brad Weimer.
He did.
And he told me that the name of their guys in foul ground, the Golden Glovers.
That's very good.
Have to be 55 and over. Well done, Brad.
So we don't qualify. Well, yeah, we do. We both do. Yeah. The Golden Glovers. That's very creative. Bald dudes. That's good too. It's catchy. So Weimer's multitasking?
Yeah, he is. He's very interested. His Diamondbacks are trying to chase down the Dodgers. They're in a tight race. He's been pulling for us all weekend, or all week.
They're trailing the Giants 2-1. Peterson, a swing and a miss. There is out number one. That's 3 straight strikeouts now.
Yeah, I'd like to see this from Matt Albers.
Number 14,
Put the baseball where he wants it. There it is, fastball in, and Peterson just can't get the bat head out. 3 consecutive punch outs. So even in a game like this, there is a silver lining. You can always get something out of every game, and certainly you hope that Matt Albers is finding something here tonight.
Yeah, get him right. Make a strong bullpen stronger still.
Good slider.
Yeah, that's the Matt Albers we have seen the vast majority of this season.
Hey, dub lemons, you can make lemonade, right?
That's right.
Give Matt Albers some innings, let him figure it out. Looks like he's on his way.
Bullpen has been a big part of it here in this road trip. Jeremy Jeffress with strong work. Josh Hader a couple of nights ago, a couple of innings, 39 pitches. Actually on Monday night. So it was a tough ask and they didn't do it. And Hader was down last night in a tight ball game. We've seen Joakim Soria, a couple of outings as a Brewer. Deal with the White Sox. Good options for Counsell to turn to.
Yeah, close games. You know he really doesn't want to use too many more of his relievers. This, if it stays like this has got Hernan Perez written all over it.
Yeah, it does. We talked about it last night, and we have seen it throughout baseball. We have certainly seen it with the Brewers. Where this is the kind of game, or the way it's unfolding, you can very easily see a position player out there.
Yeah, you might see Taylor Williams, maybe Burns. Burns had a very short night last night.
It was the first time that he has given up a run. Gave up a couple, in fact. First half dozen appearances, gave up nothing. Full count to Hernandez. Good year is Kike Hernandez. Not so much the average, but showing the power. 17 home runs. Very versatile as he dumps one into right center field.
Fights one off, doesn't hit it very hard, but the point is making contact. Pitch trying to come in on his hands and able to dump it into right. Got it down on the label.
Runner aboard with one out in the 6th for Justin Turner. He's been on twice. He has scored twice. Hit by a pitch and walked. First game back for Turner after being on the disabled list with a groin injury. It's 2 balls, no strikes. Taylor Williams now up for the Brewers. Captain of the team, Justin Turner, were the first to reach out to Ryan Dozier. Came over. It was interesting reading some of the quotes from Dodger players. They were happy to get Dozier, but they were disappointed to see Logan Forsythe move on to the Twins. Forsythe's, the numbers were not good, but they loved his presence in the clubhouse, and good relationships, the business part of it.
Yeah, I think that those feelings, the way Dozier's been swinging a bat, are kind of going away a bit.
It's Logan who?
A couple of home runs already for Dozier. Not that they're going to forget about Forsythe, but that's a good trade for the Dodgers.
Absolutely.
Almost happened last year. And Dozier just couldn't wait to get to Los Angeles.
Yeah, got here Monday night. Or Tuesday night, I should say. Out here during the ball game. A little late to get into it. Got in there last night. 3-hit night as Turner fouls one off his foot. To say the least, he has been banged around this season going back to spring training.
That's a result of that really good two-seamer. He's starting to get on top of it a little bit better. And when you see hitters do that, that means you got some good movement. And Matt Albers is at his best. He's getting ground balls. We could use one here.
Two balls, 2 strikes to Justin Turner. And he started with a strikeout of Jock Peterson. Kike Hernandez with a single to right center. And the 2-2 pitch. It's a piece.
Yeah, one of the many things you like about Justin Turner, I mean, he's good in the community, good clubhouse guy. But you know, we've been here now 4 days.
Right.
They honor, you know, the military hero of the day, and they do that over by where the third base coach is. Every game, and every game that we've been here, when that military hero walks up the runway there, right by the end of the Dodgers dugout, he hands them a baseball and shakes their hand.
Yeah, that's very, very cool.
And that's great.
See.
That's awesome. You can understand him doing it, you know, when he was on the disabled list the first 3 days, but
right.
He did it tonight too. I was watching.
Someone who gets it.
Yeah.
In the sports sense, he really has been a study in perseverance. Career was pretty nondescript at this level until he became a Dodger. Sends one into center field. Lorenzo Cain going back, and yet another long ball for the Dodgers tonight. And this time it's Justin Turner.
One off his foot, and 2 pitches later, big fly to center. And that pitch boring in on his hands, but doesn't go down at all. It's going to have some tail to it, and there you see the big high finish. Ball carries out of here. Now 12-2.
Long night gets longer for the Milwaukee Brewers as a pitching change again here at Dodger Stadium. The lead is 10 for LA. Justin Turner with a 2-run shot. Struggles continuing for Matt Albers, who put up a couple of those long balls. So another pitching change is Taylor Williams now on the mound for Milwaukee.
Yeah, a little tune-up for Taylor Williams. It's been since Sunday against the Giants. Got up a couple of hits in a scoreless inning. A couple of hits, a walk, and a strikeout. And Taylor loaded the bases, but was able to get out of it. 42nd appearance and a 343 earned run average for Taylor Williams.
And he will face Yasmani Grandal. Attacks the first pitch. Walked twice. Tap back to the mound has Grandal. 8 hits for LA, 5 of them homers. It has been that kind of night. But we remind you the Cubs have lost. Cardinals walked off the Rockies earlier this afternoon in St. Louis. Grandal hits one in the air, shallow left center. Ryan Braun for out number 2. Briefly, as though Alvarez was starting to show us that Matt Alvarez we've seen this season, but then the man started to escape. Mr. Turner took advantage after Hernandez dumped a single.
He tried to come inside. He did put it inside, but it didn't have any tilt to it. Didn't go down at all. It's just stayed on that same plane. The pitch was middle in. And Turner able to pull the hands in. That tells you how strong he is.
Bellinger to left center, and that's going to drop. So having a night with the grand slam in the 3rd, now reaching for the 3rd time here this evening. He walked in the 5th.
Second baseman, number 6.
We've been talking throughout the series how Bellinger likes that ball down. That one was a little below the belt, able to center on it and knock it into left. A 3-game stretch where the Dodgers really didn't do much offensively. Even last night it wasn't a big offensive outburst, but tonight a little different.
They have unloaded now 152 home runs for this ball club this season as Brian Dozier now at the plate. The pop in his bat. Dodgers talked about a lot. They have struggled against left-handed pitching this season, so a power bat from the right side to go along with the acquisition of Machado. The talk around here has been more back into the bullpen. Obviously, Kenley Jansen, you're talking about one of the top closers in the National League. That's not the issue. Scott Alexander has pitched well, especially in July for the Dodgers, but they're trying to get a little more help in those later innings. They've acquired the veteran John Axford. We'll see what he brings.
Yep, and it is all about bullpens once you get to the postseason, except when you have a guy like Kershaw out there on the mound. He typically isn't going all that deep these days. I would imagine he's going to be done tonight.
1-2 pitch. Dozier lifts one in the air, right field. On the run is Christian Yelich. He'll put it away for the final out here in the 6th. Couple of more runs for LA. Dodgers lead it 12-2.
Bar and Grill in Plainfield. If they call the Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, they get, that's the Brewers, they get 40 tickets to a Friday night game in the Miller Lite Beer Pen. This offered courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin. And Miller, and I assure you, I haven't had one of those.
That's true. I can vouch for that. You have not.
The Brewers by 10 o'clock tomorrow. Doesn't mean I won't later.
Yeah, we make no promises after the final out here tonight.
Will be good to get home, won't it?
Yeah, it really will. It's been a good trip. It's been a bad night here for the Brewers, but it's been a good trip. 5 wins, some very exciting baseball along the way. Well, as Brock suggested, the night could very well be over for Clayton Kershaw, and in fact it is. Eric Goodell now on the mound for Los Angeles.
And another good outing for Clayton Kershaw. Finally able to beat the Brewers here at Dodger Stadium. At least he's on the hook for a win. That game's not over yet. My apologies. A 12-2 lead as Goodell takes over here in the 7th.
Facing Orlando Arcia. Yeah, you heard him right. And finally in a position as Kershaw to beat the Brewers here. Kershaw at Dodger Stadium against Milwaukee. Mind you, 1-4 with an ERA of a touch more than 5. This is from a surefire Hall of Famer. The guy whose career ERA is in the company of Hoyt Wilhelm, Whitey Ford, a guy named Koufax. He was pretty good out here.
Yeah. Pretty similar stuff. Fastball, curveball.
Arcia singled to left in the 4th inning. 1 of 5 hits for the Brewers. And a wave and a miss there. Taking ball from Goodell for out number 1.
Yeah, there's the issue for Arcia. That 2-strike breaking pitch off the corner is having a very difficult time laying off of that.
Some changes here for the Dodgers. Max Muncy moves over to 3rd. He had a lot of trouble there in the series at Miller Park. Chris Taylor in the ball game out in center, and Bellinger moves over to 1st. Here's Mike Moustakas. Talk about the big defensive plays made in this series. Certainly Lorenzo Cain robbing Bellinger on Tuesday night. Moustakas robbed Chris Taylor of what would have been a 3-run double in all likelihood late in last night's game, in the 8th inning in fact. And the defense these last couple of nights, it has just been electric. This is a preview of coming attractions as Moustakas took one away from Kike Hernandez, and then Chris Taylor this last night. Just terrific.
Bases loaded, 2 outs. Would have cleared the bases, and yeah, he's been able to go down the line in the hole and play terrific defense in this series.
The ball, 2 strikes to Moustakas. In the 9th spot in the order. Bloop that will be out of reach. Eric Thames moving into the on-deck circle. Again, the 1-2. In a game like this, the inning that really mattered was the 3rd. First 2 were aboard for the Brewers, a double to lead off the inning from Chacin, the infield single from Lorenzo Cain, but the Brewers did not push across a run. Meanwhile, the Dodgers scored 5 times, taking advantage of a couple of errors along the way.
And Brewers put a couple of runs up in that inning. I think it's a little different situation. I think everything works out a little bit differently in the bottom of the 3rd. And the errors, the walks, a hit batter.
Looking at someone who very well could get some mound time tonight, there on Perez. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Moustakas. Heads up in the dugout. Still in his first full week as a Milwaukee Brewer is Mike Moustakas. A different looking lineup than it was at the beginning of this road trip.
Yeah, you think?
This club has made it be known that they're in it to win it. Interesting story, by the way, today in MLB.com. Mike Petriello with an interesting piece, and just direct you to that on MLB.com about how the Brewers could perhaps utilize all of these infielders. A lot of national talk about, could they acquire another pitcher, and they still can during the month of August. They can make it work. Moustakas with a very high pop-up in the foul territory. Bellinger has room for out number 2.
Remember how everybody was talking about how Craig Counsell was going to work all the outfielders that he had early in the season? That seemed to work itself out.
Sure did.
Craig Counsell very candid in saying that the Brewers are 1 injury away to an infielder from not being too heavily weighted in infielders. You never know what can happen.
2 outs, bases empty. Eric Thames now pinch hitting for Lorenzo Cain. What it does as well, it does strengthen the bench, and we talked about it with the Dodgers tonight. Night where Matt Kemp isn't in the lineup, you can bring him in. Well, tonight for the Brewers, Moustakas and Eric Thames here. Got a couple of thumpers you can bring in tight spots.
It could be a little bit awkward early on for Craig Counsell until he finds somewhat of a rotation. Guys start to get used to the role, who's going to play on a daily basis, and moving guys in, moving guys out, double switches.
2 balls, no strikes to Thames.
I think a lot of it depends on whether Orlando Arcia can start swinging the bat.
Yeah, that's the big question.
If he can do that, he's going to be able to stay at shortstop. If not, then they're going to have to be creative. Going to have to get that bat in the lineup. Jonathan Scope over there. And we'll see how they work it. But a lot depends on the success of Arcia at the plate.
Thames drawing a 4-pitch walk, so he's aboard with 2 men out here in the 7th inning. It's interesting, again, I would just direct you to Petriello's piece on MLB.com, but he talks about that with the middle infield, the struggles trying to get more offensive production there, and part of this, it's outside the box with Travis Shaw getting some work at times at second base, but as is pointed out in Petriello's piece, the Brewers, their pitching staff, it's not a heavy ground ball staff, especially the starters. So when they are on the ground, they tend to be softer hit. There was a foul ball off the bat of Yelich. Chacin, for instance, now tonight you have to throw it away. He's having a terrific year, but Chacin's ground ball rate is lower than it's been in his career, and yet he's putting together a very, very good season. So it's just a suggestion that these moves, while it appears from the outside, being outside the box or a reach to try to get more offense, there's a little more to it than that.
Yeah.
One strike pitch to Yelich.
And that's a work in progress. Let's put it that way. They have 2 weeks, or I should say 2 months of baseball left. And whoever starts swinging the bat the best is going to be the guy that plays. Let's face it. That's the way it's been. That's the way it's always going to be.
let's face it, it's been very proven that if you can get in the postseason, whether you're a 100-win team or the team that has to travel for the wild card game, you can get hot at the right time and you can take it home. Yes, some of those championship teams have had the lights out starting pitcher. Collectively, this Brewers ball club really has made it work with the staff ERA. Starters have been very, very good.
Think about, postseason. There's a lot of off days in series. Of course, it doesn't apply in the wild card game, but if you get through that wild card game, it's the bullpen that makes the difference. There aren't too many bullpens as good as the Brewers pen.
Pitchers of a variety who can work in very high leverage situations. 2-2 pitch to Yelich. Well, you're back to game 7. This last year, Charlie Morton, they started multiple innings, 4 or 5. They finished that one up. Of course, you think of a few years ago, Madison Bumgarner doing a very similar thing with the Giants against the Royals. It becomes a little different animal when you get into the best of 5 and the best of 7 with how you can use bullpens. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and holding to Christian Yelich. And a bouncing ball gets through off the glove of Dozier. Thames makes the turn. And the Brewers have runners at the corners, and that is hit number 3 tonight for Christian Yelich. A double, a homer, and a single.
Yeah, starting a new hitting streak. He snapped his last night. It really didn't cool him off much, did it? Yeah, I thought maybe after that hitless game for Yelich last night that Craig Counsell might sit him today, but Yelich said and he's got a 3-hit game tonight.
He's another one of those guys who really just isn't into having a ton of off days back in his career with the Marlins. There's Jesus Aguilar. Yelich last year played all but 6 games for Miami and all but 7 the year before. He's become that guy a manager could count on.
Yeah.
Put him on the lineup card.
There are guys, and there have been guys with the Brewers that just cannot stand days off. I mean, they come to the ballpark to play, and when they get a day off, they're an absolute pain in the neck to the manager and everybody else on the bench. So one of the reasons that you keep him in a lineup is to keep him away from the bench. Not sure if Yelich falls into that category. Prince Fielder comes to mind.
Yeah, it's exactly what I was thinking about. I enjoyed the chat you and BA had with Prince in the last homestand. 2 strikes to nothing to Aguilar. Although did Prince tell you guys that if he could do it over, maybe a few days off here and there might not have been a bad thing, but in the moment, no, you better put him down.
Yeah, I don't want to play. It's the only way you put up the numbers that Prince was able to put up is being in the lineup every day.
1-2 the count to Aguilar. It was fun to see him back, and you were with him. It seemed like he enjoyed being back at the ballpark, and these little guys like him can understand how much fun it is for those in attendance to see those big welcome home.
He's really opened up too. I mean, he kept things close to the vest. You can understand, I mean, that's the way he was when he was playing, but now very personable, had a good time on his a day at Miller Park last homestand.
2-2 pitch to Aguilar, and there's a drive hit into deep left field, and there is no doubt about it. 3-run homer for Jesus Aguilar.
Got to get him hot again. There's a good start. Tried to come in on him, and he had nothing doing. Able to pull the hands in, knock it out of here. It's been a while between home runs for Jesus. It's got to feel good for him. There's that fastball up and in. Forget it. See the way he pulls the hands close to the body. I mean, really didn't even get good extension. See how far it went down the left field line. It's the only way you can get the barrel in the pitch like that. That wasn't even a strike.
So strong. Well, an at bat for Taylor Williams. After Aguilar goes deep for the 26th time this season, now with 77 RBIs. Taylor has a hit this year in 3 at bats. Pitchers aren't afraid to take their hacks.
No.
Hader has a hit. Dan Jennings a couple. Wade Miley, a starting pitcher, has a couple.
Chastain swings the bat well.
Yeah, double tonight. He has 8 hits on the year. Williams taking a good hack. Behind the count of ball, 2 strikes. Second home run coming out of the All-Star break for Aguilar. The first coming against Daniel Hudson of the Dodgers. Homestand in Milwaukee. One and 2. Williams versus Eric Goodell. Swing and a miss, and that'll be out number 3. The Brewers put 3 runs on the board, courtesy of that man. Jesus Aguilar turns on one, sends it into the seats in left field. It's 12-5 Dodgers. At Dodgers Stadium. Let's go back to the key inning of this game. Our Badger Mutual Insurance plays the game. An error there. Jonathan Scope to begin the inning. Another error coming up on a soft throw that Arcia couldn't handle. A run scoring. That was Jock Peterson. And then a pitch that looked like it was in the zone. Didn't get it. Bases loaded. Bellinger off the pole.
Pretty much self-inflicted for the Brewers that inning.
Yeah, it was.
A team that has played so well defensively throughout this road trip. That 3rd inning was a killer.
Max Muncy will lead things off. Christian Yelich now moving from right to center field. Eric Thames was pinch hitting for Lorenzo Cain, so now Christian in center, Thames in right. A ball, a strike to Muncy. Strikeout, a liner to third, and a walk for Muncy, who began the game, or is over at third now. Began the game at first, moved over to third. down the line in right field, and that's down. Off the wall, Muncy will take it all the way to second with a leadoff double.
It's been an offensive barrage by the Dodgers tonight. Every inning but the second.
66, Yasiel Puig.
Extra base hits, home runs. They're swinging the bats tonight. Dodgers have scored in every inning but the second tonight.
That was a 1-2-3 inning for Chacin. It included a very nice play by Orlando Arcia. Chopper off the bat of Puig, who's at the plate now, and he sends one into right field, down the line, and out of play. Nice catch. High fives all around.
Brought his catcher's mitt tonight. No way.
His night is made.
We're not going to get into the Johnny Bench foul ball.
No, I'm not going to do that. No. A swing and a miss.
Although he almost got thrown out of the vet. I mean, I was running up and down the ramps trying to get down close to the players. You know, we had kind of seats up high.
Sure.
Didn't have my ticket.
Well, you were that guy.
Yeah. Well, I was running up and down, and the security guy asked me for my ticket. And I didn't have it, and he was going to kick me out until I started to cry.
You know, it's funny you mentioned it. You're doing that again tonight. Who are you? Where's your pass?
I was young, though. I was real young.
Let me in. There's a liner over Arcia, base hit. Muncy rounding third. He's heading home, and the throw is cut off. And it continues here in LA tonight. It has been an onslaught in this Dodgers offense.
No chance to get the out at home plate. There's a slider that stayed up, and Puig able to hook it. Ryan Braun throw should have gone to second base. Throws it into home, and Yasiel Puig able to get into second base. No chance to get the runner at home.
Here's Chris Taylor, his first at-bat of the night.
No, it wasn't a full out, you know, I wasn't bawling, you know, really over the top crying. Kind of just got tears in my eyes.
Yeah.
Guys felt sorry for me.
Yeah.
I was about 12.
Tonight you were really crying hard.
That third inning?
Yeah. Yeah, right about the third inning. Just trying to picture you as someone crying.
Yeah, it was the first year of the vet. You know, I mean, you get thrown out of that ballpark. I mean, where do you go? They didn't have a cell phone. I couldn't tell my folks. What would they have thought? The only thing I could think of, start crying.
And it worked.
And it worked.
Good for you.
Headed up to the upper deck, sat with my parents and told them the story. And my mother handed me my ticket.
And all was well. You were happy. Got a hot dog.
Yeah.
Got all cheesesteak.
Got all about it.
Yeah, you're good. I did not know that.
Very traumatic.
Yeah,
it was.
A sensitive young Bill Schroeder. You're getting a little choked up remembering that, aren't you?
It scarred me. I go nowhere without my ticket or my press pass.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially these days. I mean, you can't go anywhere in these ballparks without getting scanned, you know?
Very well secured.
Now, most of the ballparks, you get scanned going into the press box once, like Miller Park.
Right, right.
And that's it. In Chicago and the White Sox, you didn't do that series,
I was everywhere.
right?
No, I did. I was with
did
you.
that one?
Right.
Every time you go out the door to go to the facilities,
We're all over
and
us.
come back, he was scanning you every time. Did you notice that?
I did notice that. I was very friendly about it, but yeah, we were scanned all weekend.
But you know, once the game, you know, we get into the booth and get ready for our open, we take our press passes off, right? Put them away.
Yep. And we forget, and then if you have to, you know, do something
right
between innings, if you don't have that with you,
I barely made it back for the start of the inning.
I was a little worried about you.
I had to cry then too.
It's good to know that works. That's a skill to be able to cry on cue.
Right. Yep.
There's Taylor drawing a walk.
Number 31, Josh
There is Hernan Perez. We suggested this not long ago. Looks like we're going to see him pitch once again here tonight. Let's see, we've covered celebrities. We got Levering taken care of for his birthday. Bill Schroeder, a crier.
Bill Schroeder crying.
Who knew?
What else we got?
Well, the night is young. You know, BA is going to wear you out tomorrow, knowing that you're a crier. Rock already thinking of the rebuttals. Tune in tomorrow. Jock Peterson at the plate. An RBI knock. He's the runner at second. Chris Taylor walked at first. Dodgers scoring in 6 of the first 7 innings tonight. 5-run third, the big one. Two balls, 1 strike to Peterson. Peterson's home run of the first of 5 long balls tonight for Los Angeles. Here's a 2-1 pitch. There's another one deep into right field, and that's out of here. My goodness.
Yeah. Time to load up on the airplane and get out of here. This is not going well tonight. Everything the Brewers are throwing up there, it seems like the Dodgers are knocking out of the ballpark. Fastball down, and there she goes. That's 6 home runs for the Dodgers tonight. And not one of them are cheap. All of them hit really hard.
And that will end it for Taylor Williams. So it is now a 16-5 game. Still nobody out in the 7th. Yankees, Rangers 17 on the Orioles. Dodgers with 16 and 6 home runs tonight. 16-5. Jock Peterson with a couple of them. A solo shot in the first, a 3-run blast a moment ago. Put that all together, and that means a position player back on the mound. This time, third time this year, it's Hernan Perez. Some Eric Kratz in that role. Perez had that role last year in Washington in a blowout game.
There have been a number of position players in Major League Baseball this year getting work on the mound more than ever. One of these big scores. Teams just don't want to burn up any more relievers.
Save the bullpen a little bit. If it's 4, 5, 6 games a year, whatever it is, you got a ball game that's getting away from you. And as we mentioned last night, you're trusting, in this case, Perez to not try to throw it 98, just get it over, and Hernandez goes back up the middle.
And especially when you're in the middle of the stretch like the Brewers are in right now, 17 consecutive days of games. In a game like this, yep, it's a no-brainer to bring a position player in to save the pen for that Rockies series. But you never like doing it.
No, you don't.
And you're forced to at times.
Austin Barnes now the hitter for the Dodgers. Dave Roberts clearing some space on his bench right now. Only Matt Kemp remains. Two strikes and nothing to Barnes. Picking up Yasmani Grandal.
58 miles an hour with that pitch. I would say that's under hitting speed. That's under batting practice speed,
yeah,
actually.
It is. And that is a called third strike at 73 miles per hour. Out number one, finally, after the first 5 reaching.
Catcher number 9, Yasmani Grandal.
Yeah, put a little extra on this one right at the bottom of the strike zone. Not sure why Barnes takes it, but he does. Thank you very much.
Here's Grandal.
And nobody really wins in these situations. You know, hitters, they
Right.
go up there. I mean, you get a hit, you're expected to get a hit.
And when you take a called third strike, you're going to hear about it. Grandal in the air, right field, and it is dropped. Yelich had it hit off his glove. And moving to third is Hernandez. Grandal to second.
Well, that should be an error on Yelich, but we'll see how they call it. Well, certainly one that he should have had. He was there in time. Well, get it all out of your system tonight.
They're going to give him a double.
First base number 35, Cody Bellinger.
Not sure how you give out a double, but okay, who cares?
Yeah. A double it shall be. Here's Yasmani Grandal, or excuse me, Cody Bellinger after the Grandal double. Bouncing ball, charging is Arcia. The throw over to first. A run will score as Hernandez is in. RBI ground ball from Bellinger for the 17th run of the night for LA. Mentioning lopsided scores. A couple of other ones today. It was earlier in the week. The Nationals going 25 on the Mets, 25-4.
Ooh, goodness. Yep. Well, the Dodgers aren't too far from that tonight. You looked at that score a couple of days ago and said, wow. The Dodgers have laid 17 runs on the Crew tonight.
Boston beat the Yankees 15-7. CC Sabathia started that game with 3 innings, gave up a couple of runs, and then it all opened up. Jonathan Holder out of the bullpen did not record an out, gave up 7.
Four teams in baseball tonight have gone double digits.
Rangers 17-8 over the Orioles. Nationals 10-4 over Cincinnati. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Brian Dozier. And his second home run in as many nights back in the 5th inning. Dozier gets a piece. The score such as it is, the Cubs lost, so the game will separate these teams. Still, that was how the night began. Barring one heck of a rally. Full count to Dozier, 9th man to hit in this 7th inning. And that is a fair ball down the line. Grandal will score. Dozier cruising into second for the 18th run of the night.
Yeah, 63 had a little bit of an arc on that pitch, and Dozier able to tuck it inside the third base line.
The inning began with a Max Muncy double. Second at bat of the inning. In the air, left center field, and it is down and to the wall. Dozier will score. Run number 19 for the Dodgers. Ball hung up there a long time.
Yeah, I'm surprised nobody got to it. That ball didn't even hit the warning track, and nobody even close. Ron and Yelich.
Yasiel Puig to the plate. Eleventh man to hit in the inning. Run scoring single earlier here in the 7th. We got in the homer parade in the 4th inning with a solo shot. Taking the big cut and a full count.
They're not doing the best he can. He's just trying to throw the ball over the plate and hope somebody, one of these Dodgers, hits it at somebody. Simple as that.
Yeah, that's all he can do.
Pop one up, hit a grounder.
Puig deep to center, and there's Here's another one. Uncle.
Well, not much to say about this one.
Chris Taylor.
Another at-bat of the inning for Chris Taylor. They're all just taking their rips. A 9-run inning here for the Dodgers. And that's going to find the gap. That's going to get all the way to the wall. Hit number 18. On and on it goes.
You just can't expect, the Dodgers. I mean, the Dodgers aren't enjoying this either. I mean, they like hitting the home runs. They like getting the base hits. But there's one thing you don't do in this game is you don't go up there and try and make an out.
Right.
I mean, these at-bats count. You can't blame the Dodgers for what they're doing. It's not their fault that, the score is what it is. I mean, the pitching staff of the Brewers, it's not been their night. Hernan Perez trying his best to get through this mess. But nobody ever goes up there to try and make an out. Because these at-bats count.
No, that's a great point.
So if you're wondering why the Dodgers are pouring it on like this, it's not their fault.
Ball strike to Peterson. He's homered twice tonight, including a 3-run homer in this inning. Very reminiscent of that game against the Nationals last July in D.C. Michael Blazek had an emergency start. And there was a home run barrage. Perez actually pitched in that game. You take it, you move on, you play again tomorrow night back at Miller Park.
Yeah. Just try and get through it.
A full count to Jock Peterson. And a ground ball over to first. Feed to Perez, and finally, this nightmare of an inning is over. First run scored in a game by any team at Dodger Stadium, LA, with 21 on the board tonight. a 9-run, 9-hit 7th inning for the Dodgers. As you look at the ugliness that is the score of this game. Dodgers have been on a home run tear here tonight. So Pedro Baez now on the mound for LA as we move to the top half of the 8th inning.
34th appearance for Baez at .348 earned run average. Well, we're sitting here in the top of the 8th inning. The Brewers down 21-5, and Baez gets an opportunity.
Ryan Braun will lead things off. Clayton Kershaw went the first 6. Adele the 7th. And that's as much of a recap as we really need to give you right now. You see the score.
Yeah.
Braun hits this one hard into center field, and that's going to bang off the wall. Ronnie on his way into second, and he gets there with a leadoff double.
Well, all the at-bats count. It doesn't matter what the score is. It never does with hitters at the plate. Ryan Braun with a ringing double out into center field. Good piece of hitting. A slider that actually. Down and away. Braun goes down and gets it. Rips it off the wall in center field. Actually out toward right center. It's hard off that fence.
8th hit of the night here for the Brewers. Travis Shaw to the plate. Reached in the 4th inning on a walk. And he'll lift this one in the air into left field. Jock Peterson for out number 1. Let's check out tonight's Powerball home run leaderboard. Jesus Aguilar with a 3-run blast in the 7th inning. Increases his lead on the field. 26. Mike Moustakas bringing his 20 home runs over from Kansas City. Travis Shaw with 20 as well. Jonathan Scope with 17 home runs with the Orioles. Christian Yelich lined one out of here tonight for number 16. Get Aguilar's bat going again. Drew a walk tonight. He drew a couple of them last night. Just get a little confidence going with him.
Hit a line out to third early in the game. Now, the Brewers should be very proud of what they were able to accomplish on this road trip. Let's not minimize what they have been able to do except for tonight. Tonight, granted, a disaster, absolutely, but you know, the first 7 games of this road trip, tremendous work. And they need to remember that as they load up on the plane tonight and head back to Milwaukee.
No doubt.
A successful road trip.
Come out here and win 5 out of 8. Couple of 4-game series with the Giants and the Dodgers, and the Brewers have inflicted a lot of damage on this National League West. As you can see, fared pretty well against the East as well, and there's still 6 more games against NL West opponents coming up as Kratz with a fly ball out in the left center field. Chris Taylor calls for it. 2 men out.
Well, the Brewers are going to have a lot of opportunities in the month of September to improve on that National League Central Division record. The Central Division has not been kind to the Brewers. It's basically Chicago and Pittsburgh. But majority of their games are going to be against their own division. That's the way it should be.
Yeah, you look at that month of September, the exceptions, a 3-game series where the Giants come in early September, and then the regular season concludes with a home series against the Detroit Tigers. But otherwise, big old dose of NL Central. Labor Day weekend, they will be in D.C. against the Nationals. But yeah, it's the way you want it. You get your own division, you get the battle going there. Obviously, everybody wants to win the division and avoid the winner go home wild card game. But as we said, just you get in. We have seen those the road wild card teams actually win it all. Garcia rips one deep, but foul.
Yeah, Brewers still have 8 games remaining with the Cubs. Those will be some pretty big games. Number of games against the Pirates left.
It's the fun with this ball club. Meaningful ball games in August and then into September. Went through it last year, finished just 1 game short to getting into the postseason. Surprised just about everyone outside of their clubhouse with the kind of year they had. Well, this year the expectations different, higher, and here they are. And yeah, tonight has been brutal, but a game out. Still the best wild card team right now.
I'm not sure how, what's worse. How you lose is worse. I mean, last night's loss, I mean, that got everybody. I mean, everybody felt like that was in the game. What could I have done to get that 1 run or win that ball game? Well, games like today.
Blue Bellinger avoids the collision.
Games like today are easily forgotten.
Yes, they are. It has to be because they're playing again in a matter of hours. 21-5 Dodgers in the 8th. All right, Daria, thank you very much. Bottom of the 8th inning, and now Eric Kratz getting another mound appearance here for the Brewers.
And Manny Pena is charged with trying to catch that knuckleball from Kratz. And it is a good one, by the way.
It is. They saw him play some first last night for the first time in a couple of years. Kratz appeared in that game against the Dodgers at Miller Park. Sharply hit, but a nice polite hop. Travis Shaw for out number 1. Kratz recorded a strikeout that game against the Dodgers. Also in late June, pitched an inning against the Reds in Cincinnati. It's been a nice addition to this ball club. He's been part of a number of organizations, but it's a good professional presence about him.
Yeah, did not appear in the big leagues last year, and picked him up from the minor leagues and has done a good job. You're right. I mean, he's shown a pretty good arm.
Fly ball out to left. Austin Barnes put away for out number 2.
Yep, handles pitchers extremely well. That's the only way you stick around as long as Kratz has as a backup catcher. You know, you understand your role. You're not a troublemaker. You encourage your teammates. A lot of times you don't play. Of course, he's playing more than he probably thought he was going to.
Started out red hot at the plate, went through a cold spell, and now swinging the bat pretty well again.
And one of those guys you think when it's all said and done for him is probably going to be a coach.
Oh, yeah.
He just has that kind of demeanor. Kind of a student of the game. Likes being around the ballpark and has a lot to offer. I think one of those guys that would be really well served down in the minor leagues, teaching young catchers all aspects of the game.
Yeah, that's a great call. He really comes across as someone who would be perfect for that role if that's a role he chooses when the playing days are done. Full count now to Yasmani Grandal. And a bouncing ball that's snapped up by Orlando Arcia. Kratz has a 1-2-3 eighth inning. We'll move on to the ninth here at Dodger Stadium. Brew Crew here tonight, a 9-run, 9-hit 7th inning. It was already lopsided before that. Just one game though, and we get right back at it in a matter of hours. Miller Lights, what's on tap? Here are your probables. It all begins tomorrow night. Junior Guerra takes the ball for the Brew Crew against German Marquez. Tyler Anderson, Freddie Peralta on Saturday. Miley and John Gray on Sunday. We'll get it going tomorrow with Brewers Live at 6:30. Here on Fox Sports Wisconsin.
Yeah, both Junior Guerra and Freddie Peralta looking for some bounce back starts. Wade Miley outstanding here against the Dodgers.
It sure was. That was just in this series, which is going to be a split. You had two games that were just beautiful games to watch. If you had a dog in the fight or not. 1-0 decision on Tuesday, and then inning wasn't right from the Brewers' perspective, but a really good baseball game last night. Dodgers winning in 10 innings. Craig Counsell, tonight you're a race.
Yep.
He's had very good pitching on this trip.
He's thinking about tomorrow already. And the coaches for the Brewers on the plane back to Milwaukee tonight will be scouring, the reports on the Rockies. No rest for the weary for those guys. Getting the boys ready for the Rockies.
And yet another team that is right in the thick of it in the postseason chase. Rockies a game and a half behind in the NL West. It's the same as in terms of the wild card chase as well. Pirates and Cardinals 4 back. The Nationals 4.5, and the Giants 5 behind. Giants, by the way, took another hit as you look at the wild card race. Pablo Sandoval done for the year. They've got Johnny Cueto set for Tommy John surgery, and Sandoval's season being cut short. Remember, he was removed from that game Sunday against the Brewers. A ground out from Moustakas to start the 9th inning.
Brewers going to see the Giants in September
Number 7, Eric
at Miller
Hayes.
Park.
One of those trips at the beginning of it, if you asked a Brewer fan if your club went 5-3, if we gave you that, would you take it? I think the answer would be a resounding yes.
Yeah, I think you take 4 and 4.
3 out of 4 in San Francisco. It'll be 2 up, 2 down here in Los Angeles. Eric Thames to the plate. Thames walked and scored in the 7th inning. Getting his second at bat of the night. At 96. Thames chases one out of the zone. 0-2 the count. Has been a workhorse out of that bullpen. Led the team in appearances last year with 66. Came out of the pen 73 times the year before. Ball 2 strikes to Thames. A swing and a miss. Thought he got a piece of it. That is not the case. That is out number 2 as we play this one out in LA.
Did it hit the ground? The changeup never touched it. Was not a foul
Number
tip.
9, Manny Pena.
So 2 outs, bases empty for Manny Pena. Good night last night, did Manny. 3 hits, a game tying RBI single in the 8th inning. Big spot that Manny was in. They intentionally walked there on Perez yesterday, or last night's game. It was Pena who helped push that game into extra innings.
And he's starting to look much better at the plate. 5 hits last 2 games.
Baez with the 1-0. Pena, another guy. You look back at last year for him, a 279 average. Some big home runs, just some big moments at the plate he had. Jet Bandy were sharing the role early in the year, and became the primary position, primary spot to have Pena in that lineup hard.
Stephen Vogt came in last year, provided some pretty good offense from the left side. I think they miss Stephen. They miss that bat. Left side, behind home plate.
Yeah, no doubt. I mentioned it earlier, such a shame he worked so hard in the off season.
Good hitter.
Yeah, just shoulder did not cooperate. So trying to work his way back. Good hitter, really good presence in the clubhouse, and the Oakland A's guys talked about that a lot.
Yeah, Brewers like him around. He's been on every road trip since his surgery.
3-1 to Manny Pena. down to their final strike. Brewers took the first 2 of the series. Dodgers on the brink of gaining a split. And the payoff. Into center field. And that's a base hit.
Yeah, he stays hot. Good job by Manny staying right on it. He got in on him a little bit, but able to fight it off.
Number 24, Jesus Aguilar.
Good sign.
Yeah, I mean 6 hits in his last 3 games. 2 games plus, I should say. Yeah, that 2-seamer boring in on his hands, but able to get enough of it.
Hit number 9 tonight for the Brewers. Here's Jesus Aguilar. Deep in the 7th inning, a 3-run homer. Home run number 26 on the year for Aguilar. You look for little things. Talked about Pena's bat coming to life. Aguilar. The home run tonight. Reached 3 times last night. Double and a couple of walks. Was after one upstairs. 1-1 the count.
And just reared back and threw it as hard as he could.
And there at 97. To the count. Dodgers tonight have scored in every inning at the 2nd and the 8th. And in a game like this, really the 3rd inning was when they really got rolling. It was a tie game, the grand slam from Bellinger, and then the onslaught was in progress. A ball, 2 strikes to Aguilar. He's going to grind out the at bat now.
Yeah,
he's not waving. There's no white flag here.
Yeah, they're not giving away at bats.
Yeah.
I mean, we talked about that a couple innings ago. These guys don't do it. I don't care what the score is. They bear down. They're at bats. They all count.
Pena the runner at first. A 2-2 count to Aguilar. He pops this one up. Bellinger. So you throw this one away, you get ready for the flight back home, and you get ready for the Rockies tomorrow night, a weekend series at Miller Park. A split in LA, a 5-3 West Coast road trip for the Brewers. Let's send it to Dario Melendez, ready to go with Brewers Live.